immigration at the country's southern border.
In September of 2022, Vice President Harris said, quote, "The border is secure." Look at that chart and ask yourself if it was then or if it is now.
The Biden administration has seen more encounters with migrants at the border. They do say that number has dropped in the last year. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Bear.
Good afternoon, Harry. Looking to northbound 65, stop-and-go traffic. Keystone Avenue into the south is split, and slowdown continues up to the Washington Street exit. Eastbound 70, stop-and-go Belmont to the south, split for 12 minutes. Northbound 465 on the northwest side slows 86 to 865. Eastbound 465 dragging from Westfield Boulevard over to the White River, and a crash Washington Street at White River Parkway West. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop Grand Appliance for expert advice. Thousands of in-stock appliance options. Fast delivery and professional installation. Learn more at grandappliance.com or your local Grand Appliance showroom. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies today. We're going to see less humid conditions and highs near 83. Mostly clear overnight tonight with lows near 60. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. It's got to be so exciting for Vice President Kamala Harris. Hammer, it finally happened. She finally received the highly coveted endorsement of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. Barack and Michelle endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris for president.
Did you see the way that it played out? So it was this choreographed video to make it look like it was an impromptu call, and Kamala had no idea that the call was coming, despite the fact that the audio had been patched in and there was a cameraman.
It was the exact same way Joe Biden informed Kamala Harris that he wanted her to be his VP in 2020.
Right.
I mean, almost identical.
Right. I can't believe this phone call's coming, even though the audio was patched through to a board and there are multiple camera people here. Here, this is a little bit of the video that Kamala posted earlier today highlighting the big endorsement.
This is going to be historic.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh my goodness. Michelle, Barack, this means so much to me.
Might as well have said, thank God Biden decided to step down, right?
Am I right? Although, according to the New York Post, the Obamas are still not all in on Kamala Harris. They don't think she has a chance of winning. The Obamas are looking at the Democratic Party going, wait a minute, we got a chance for a reset and you went with this total zero? All right.
I don't know what choices they have, and I think they might be looking down the down ballot, if you will. All right, President Trump gets elected, but we have more seats in the House. We have more seats in the Senate. He's not going to be able to do crap in a lame dunk presidency. I don't know. Any number of scenarios could happen, but I think the logical one right now is now that Joe Biden has announced he's not running for president, not running for re-election, it's his vice president, Kamala Harris. Be careful how you pronounce the name, by the way.
Right. If you pronounce it wrong, you're racist. But then again, based on Democrat rules of engagement, if you woke up this morning, racist. There you go. Now, you heard that audio we played from the phone call
I
of
did.
Michelle and Barack calling Kamala Harris. Thanks to the magic of AI, let's see what it would sound like if Dr. Phil called Kamala Harris.
Hello, Dr. Phil.
This means so much to me.
You're a bitch.
AI is a magical tool. Magical tool.
That was needless. That wasn't necessary, was it?
But again, I don't think there's a lot of teeth to this Obama endorsement. Again, New York Post story says they're not all in. The Obamas are frustrated with the Democratic Party as a whole because they wasted a big opportunity here. But with that being said, it still is a big name. All of the major players have now hitched their wagon to Kamala Harris, including the former President Barack Obama, which brings us to great moments in presidential speeches. Great moments in presidential speeches.
Someday, years from now, our children will run on batteries made in Korea.
Great moments in presidential speeches.
Did he really say that?
What an orator. What a
Wow.
statesman. And again, what you're seeing right now from the left-leaning media is some pretty wild stuff. So you've got all the endorsements coming in to Kamala Harris, and you've got Operation Kamala cover-up in full effect.
Oh, sure.
Just this week alone, here are some of the things that have been thrown out there. CBS claiming that Donald Trump is lying, saying that Harris donated to bail out the rioters from the George Floyd protests. Well, no, she did. The internet is forever. We've seen the screenshots. Hell, she might even still have the tweet on her timeline. She promoted this fund
it's obvious.
where you could bail these people out. Some people got out and committed more dangerous crimes.
I mean, that's something you and I were talking about for years.
Right.
After
They
2020.
think you're stupid and you don't remember. Here's another thing. Just this week, Joe Biden dropped out to save democracy.
Is that right?
No, Joe Biden was about to get the 25th Amendment laid on his ass because all of the Democrats knew he couldn't beat Donald Trump. And even though Kamala might not be much better, it gives them a puncher's chance. So stop with that crap.
Yeah, I feel like the Democrats, the powers that be, the deep state, whoever you want to say it was, kind of maybe privately asked Joe Biden, hey, maybe this is the right time for you to step out. And then we gave him the two-fingered salute. They did it publicly, but they did it nicely. And then they weren't so nice about it. And then all of a sudden, George Clooney's writing op-eds in the New York Times at the behest of President Obama.
Here's another load of crap that's being shoved down our throats this week. Kamala Harris was never a DEI pick for vice president. She called Joe Biden a racist on the stage at the debate, but Joe Biden made it clear he was going to base his vice presidential pick on gender and skin color, and there was one candidate that checked both of those boxes.
Pretty sure that's the very definition of DEI. And by the way, why is it frowned upon so much on the left now? Why is using DEI and saying they're a DEI hire? I thought that was a good thing.
What's the same thing with the border czar conversation, right? So that's another big load of crap. Probably the biggest load of crap we've seen this week. The left-leaning media trying to save Kamala from her duties at the border. Well, she was never really a border czar. If you do a Google search right now, you're going to find over 31,800 references to Kamala Harris being named as the border czar from the same outlets saying that she wasn't.
Very bizarre.
You can't make this stuff up. Kamala needs to have a press conference, an unscripted press conference, not one where she whips a pre-approved list of reporters out of her bra and starts talking to the room. It's got to be one that shows she can work a room like a president, like Trump used to do, like Obama used to do. If she does that, I think a lot of these conversations go away. But I don't think they're going to put her out there because her ideas are just as lunatic, just as bad as Joe Biden's. They're lock, stop together. Again, it's kid to the play. This is a big house party movie. Obama and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden,
Okay.
they're all starring in it. If you're looking for a reason to drink, how about this? Mick Jagger is 81 years old today.
Imagine that. Dude's out on tour, running up and down the stage, remembering the lyrics to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs they've written over the past 50-plus decades. I'm probably underestimating the decades that the Stones have been together. You compare and contrast that with our current leader in charge, the President of the United States. Are you kidding me?
Mick Jagger and Joe Biden, just about the same age.
Yeah.
But Mick Jagger could walk into any club in Broad Ripple right now and come home with something fun. Joe Biden can't walk. There's a little difference there between those
stay
two.
Up that late.
No, he can't. So here's what we're going to do. We've got a little montage of 8 Rolling Stones Mick Jagger hits. Okay? There's a bunch more we left on the table, but these are the 8 that we're going to play for Allison. Allison, you're about 20 years younger than Nigel and I.
Yep.
And even Nigel and I are not in the age where we grew up listening to the Rolling Stones. So, of these 8 songs, based on the honor system, you tell us how many that you've heard of. Okay, you kind of say yes or no. Nige, the over-under is set at 6.5.
I'm going to take the under.
Under 6.5.
I'm going to take the under. So that means she can't name more than 6. Am I right? Or 5?
If it's under 6.5, if she gets 6 right, you're a winner.
Okay.
Okay? So
All
she
right.
can miss 2 and you're a winner.
Okay.
So a shot of hiatus tequila partnering with the Hammer and Nigel show is on the line here.
Ooh.
All right, here we go. Allison.
What a drag it is getting old. Time is on my side. Yes, it is.
I don't think so. Yes.
1.
Yes.
Under my thumb, goodbye, Ruby Tuesday.
Yeah.
Jumping jack, it's a gas gas.
Okay, we're at the point of no return now, so you can go ahead and just stop it. Point of no return. So,
that was hard for me.
the under cashes, Nige is a winner. Do you want to take this shot of hiatus tequila, soon to be partnering with the Hammer and Nigel show, or pass it to a friend?
I want to pass it to a friend, Mr. Jason Allen Hammer over there. Be my guest. It looks like that is all you. And a couple of months from now, the official Hammer and Nigel Is This Anything Tequila will debut. Right now, you are doing a shot of the Blanco hiatus.
Yes. Cheers to Allison not knowing music history.
Yeah, that was a big one for me. A big fail.
Woo!
There it is.
It is Friday, baby. Matt Bear, what's up?
Eastbound 70 stop-and-go traffic from Belmont to the south is split, and northbound 65 also very slow into the south split right now for a travel time of 12 minutes from Keystone Avenue on up. Inbound 65 slow around West Street to the north split. Northwest side, northbound 465 stop and go traffic from 86th Street up to 865, and a crash just west of downtown Washington Street at White River Parkway. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Is your AC struggling to keep up? Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered. Get $74 off any AC repair now. Trust their fast service to keep you comfortable. MrQuickHomeServices.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
On the YouTube chat, Kathleen. I would do Mick Jagger, not so much Joe Biden.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Wonderful.
Right now, we got sunshine, 81 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Matt Bear,
my man,
the traffic beast. He's going to come in studio and just dominate the airwaves. Get to the YouTube feed. Matt's looking good. That's next.
If you can't get a good night's sleep, let me ask you, are you breathing well? Because if you're snoring or waking up each night with a stuffed up nose, or frustrated with your CPAP mask, the root of your sleep problem lies in your breathing triangle. And if any one of those passages isn't working, you won't sleep well. And there's no mattress, pill, or other gimmick that can fix that. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. A recipe for a good night's sleep starts with an open airway. Now, there are devices that can help solve snoring or sleep apnea problems. If you walk into a sleep center, know you'll walk out with a CPAP. And you might find other options elsewhere. But the simple truth is, if your nose doesn't work properly, no device will help. Only at Advent will you find every effective snoring and sleep apnea solution, along with a world-class team that can get your nose working properly again.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
From marshmallow festivals to fireworks on the shore. No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. During Hubler's Freedom to Drive, shop any of our 12 locations and choose from Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. Over 2,000 vehicles. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report.
'Cause Hubler's got you covered.
No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. During our Freedom to Drive, visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Oh, here comes the neighbor's dog again. You know what that means.
Yeah, the owner will be right behind.
Hey guys, I guess the battery in my fence went out again. Hey, how come your dogs never run off?
We use Dog Watch Hidden Fences. Their batteries last 2 years.
And they're really quick with the install. About as quick as your dog. He's way up there.
Oh, I'll call as soon as I get my steps in. Catch you later. Lucky!
Call Dog Watch Hidden Fences today for your free estimate. 317-791-0444 or IndieDogWatch.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Summer's in full swing, and summer's greatest hits are here at Macy's with 3 incredible events happening right now. Start your back-to-school shopping with 25% off Nike looks for the whole family. Plus, it's the best time to refresh your home with 40 to 60% off bedding from Hotel Collection, Charter Club, and more. And take 70% off during our fine jewelry clearance. Macy's Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
This hour on WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here, also joining us live in studio. WIBC traffic beast Matt Bear. And we have just a quick update. Last week, you were coming off your colonoscopy, your first one. They found like what? Like I found like one little guy in there?
They found one little guy, one little polyp.
But the update from that is, and I'll let you make the announcement.
The doctor said, yes, we found a polyp, and they flushed it out right down the toilet. And then I got my call on, it would have been Tuesday, and they said, yeah, dude, this was precancerous.
Wow.
Precancerous.
Yeah, which means it's nothing. Which means it's nothing that could have turned into something over the next few years is basically what they said to me on the phone, and that's how I understood it. And so thumbs up, 2 thumbs up to the colonoscopy, guys. I mean, this was a good thing. I mean, this is
Thank God for his 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. Right. 4 thumbs up.
I had 3, and I don't. They weren't precancerous, but that's why they do this, right? I had a buddy of mine that got it done at 40 because of family history, having some problems down there, and that's 5 years before you're even recommended to have a colonoscopy. They found some stuff in there, and they said, "Look, good thing you came in way early at 40 because we could be having a completely different conversation, as could you if you hadn't got it done." So
that's scary
so
stuff.
I'm glad they got that out of there, man.
Yeah, I am too. I'm glad I have a good rectum.
Very good rectum.
Yeah, and
very nice, very clean.
I feel great today.
It's tan. It's got just enough hair on it to still make it sexy. Yes, yes.
I feel fantastic today, fellas. And again, thanks to you two and everybody here in the studio just for doing the thing and and making my mind finally say to me, yeah, this is something you should go do, because I don't have a wife to push me into these things. So,
well, and again,
you guys was really good for me to go do this.
Man, I got some buddies that work on the Andretti team, and John Andretti, just a good dude to this radio station. I know the King knew him pretty well. He used to come on his show, and check it for Andretti. He died of colon cancer, and dude, if you could just go in early and get it detected, why would you not do that?
There's no lose in this procedure. It's nothing like I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to become a new man.
And it's not the rubber glove thing that people make it out to be. No. That's not what happens here. You go to sleep, they put a tube up there, and then bada bing, bada boom, you wake up, and you just wait.
Yeah, and that's what it was. I felt like a king.
And you go pig out afterwards, too.
Oh, it's really, man. The post-colonoscopy meal, it's got to be like your last meal before death sentence. It was so good. You just eat it and enjoy every single bite, and whatever you eat, it's beautiful.
But,
beautiful
man, I'm glad they found that stuff before it turned out bad for you.
Yeah, God bless me, and I'm just grateful for you guys, and grateful to St. Franciscan Health on the South Side. They were pros. They were awesome, and just had a terrific experience.
How is the Supporting Sobriety podcast going? Still up and running and strong? I know we've had a couple of weeks here where we haven't played a clip. We always get into discussing other things, but this is one of your passions right now.
Yeah,
it's the podcast.
It's intense. It's going really well, and it's at Supporting Sobriety, at @sobriety_pod on X and Instagram. Basically, it is a sober podcast we do, and except our demographic, the people we want to talk to on a show-to-show basis is the caregiver, people that ride Hedrick, our morning anchor, the co-host of Supporting Sobriety. This is recovering addicts, alcoholics here. We want to talk to the people we tormented through our use.
Sure.
So, give them tips, tell them from our experiences only what's been going on. And last weekend, we were able to tap an episode with former Indiana State Senator Jim Merritt.
Oh, Jim Merritt.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Friend of ours, friend of the Rob Kendall show, mostly.
He did something that I don't want to get too far into it. I'm not a big fan of politicians whatsoever, but I have a lot of respect for Senator Merritt and the fact that he really made it go and still continues to against the disease of addiction, trying to end the stigma, and actually told the Indianapolis Star, I think it was back in 2018, 2019, I want to kill heroin. And it's going to take money to do it. Now, the second part, think about that. Saying, hey, we're going to need money, possibly taxpayer money, to be able to do this thing, I thought was really ballsy, especially here in the state of Indiana. So he's really gone after this thing. And he did some things with it, too. He made some progress. So we had an episode with him about the stigma of addiction, and he was just fantastic. Great to talk to. And we have a clip from that episode, too, if we want to go ahead and get into it and play it for that matter.
If I have the first one, I'm off, man. I'm gone. And when I am in use, when I'm deep down, like when I was like that deep down alcoholic, and I was drinking just so I could throw up and feel better, I just couldn't shut it down. There was the mental thing, there was the physical thing. You just shut it down, and you go into the DTs, you could possibly kill yourself. So no, I couldn't just put it down, and I couldn't just cut back. When I was drinking, I was worried about when I was going to get the next bottle.
Yeah, and the reason we picked that clip and reason we talked about stigma of addiction, if we don't believe the disease of addiction is real, then we can't fight it. Yeah, it's the same thing, what the biggest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing everybody it didn't exist. And that's what the disease does. So with my alcoholism, when I was in active use, I couldn't stop. I always drank to get drunk, and that was the thing. And I always wanted to be drunk when I had that first drink. So if the disease isn't real, why couldn't I moderate like everybody else? Why couldn't I do that social drinking like everybody else? I never could. It just wasn't there.
Matt, we got about 1 minute left here. From the YouTube chat, someone writes, hey, Matt, can you update us on the upcoming 465 mess this weekend specifically?
Be more specific than that a little bit.
Which 52.7 miles? No, it's the southeast side they're talking about, I'm sure. And that's the closure eastbound 465 from 65 up to I-70. Everything should be reopened by August 5th. That's a 1 week from Monday. So we're getting there. One more week of rush hours to go. And then by next Monday, the Monday after this coming one, we should be back to normal, at least on the southeast side, or whatever normal looks like for 465, which isn't much.
Find his podcast, Supporting Sobriety, anywhere you can get your podcasts. And man, Matt Bear, I'm glad you don't have butt cancer.
Me too. It's a great day not to have butt cancer. That's what I think.
You're the best.
Love you guys. Thank you.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Are you within 5 years of filing for Social Security? get this, 96% of Americans, 96% forfeit an average of $111,000 in Social Security income. And it's all because, unfortunately, they file for their benefits at the wrong time. Learn how you can avoid this with a free customized Social Security analysis. It's from Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy.
So if you've saved more than $200,000 for retirement and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. Bill Demery. For some people, filing for Social Security early could result in more net income in retirement. The free analysis pinpoints exactly how you could get the most income from Social Security. Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Absolute Comfort. Chris Wedekin is the owner, and he tells us why many homeowners are giving up their air conditioners for a high-efficiency heat pump.
By removing your air conditioner and replacing it with a heat pump, you are not only saving by getting a higher efficiency air conditioner, the heat pump works in reverse and saves you money in the wintertime as well.
See if a heat pump is the right move for you by going to AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's talking about your property. 82 degrees, partly cloudy over the circle. The radar's clear, low temperatures to the 60s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. Property taxes are too high and being manipulated by local politicians. That's all according to Republican candidate for governor, Mike Braun.
Apply a tax rate to an assessed value. And that's where it gets tricky because that gives government the chance to not be responsible.
Senator Braun tells WIBC's Kendall and Casey his tax plan would return property tax bills to 2021 levels. It would also cap property taxes at various levels for homeowners. Former President Donald Trump said Vice President Harris has a poor record when it comes to dealing with Israel.
I think her remarks were disrespectful. They weren't very nice pertaining to Israel. I actually don't know how a person who's Jewish can vote for her, but that's up to them.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said a ceasefire deal is being worked on between them and Hamas. Harris had met in private with Netanyahu yesterday. Trump is meeting with him today. Apple has agreed to some artificial intelligence safeguards. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
Apple has signed on to voluntary commitments to take steps designed to reduce the safety and security risk of artificial intelligence. 15 firms signed on to a letter as part of an executive order from President Biden last year. The White House says federal agencies have also completed 270 actions included in that order that advance privacy, equity, civil rights, and consumer protections. Federal regulators and lawmakers on Capitol Hill have been wrestling with potential safeguards for emerging AI technology, in addition to leaning on the private sector for pledges to ensure AI is not used for destructive purposes. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Libertarian Andrew Horning says Democrats have changed.
They used to be anti-war. They used to be pro-individual rights and all of that. And they've dropped all that. And they've been, just like Republicans, fully into the military-industrial complex and the spy apparatus.
Talking with WIBC's Tony Katz, Horning is a libertarian running for U.S. Senate. He says a vote for him is one that advocates for less conflict. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 3:33.
It's hot out there. And if you're tired of paying high utility bills every month because your home AC keeps running, it's because your windows aren't energy efficient. If yours are builder grade and over 8 years old, the seals are likely broken and air is leaking out, and you're paying the price in high utility bills all year long. Window Nation's high-quality windows are built to last a lifetime. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 windows free. There's no limit on how much you could save. Plus, you could save even more with 0 down and no interest or payments for 24 months.
And Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty and can be installed in 1 day or less. They were even recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies in America. Stop paying more than you have to. Schedule a fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com.
With traffic at 334, here's Matt Bear.
Northbound 65 Harrison, stop and go traffic after 465 up to the south. Split that 17-minute ride. Eastbound 70 also stop and go from Belmont into the south. Split. And then looking at inbound 65, stop and go traffic 21st to Meridian Penn, south side. Westbound 465 out of the 65 interchange, slow over to US 31. Northeast side, eastbound 465 stop and go from Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
This Friday, we're looking at skies being on the mostly clear side, if not completely clear overnight, with temperatures dropping to about 60 degrees by our Saturday morning, and skies remaining clear throughout most of tomorrow as well. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Hammer's here, special guest on the hotline.
Tommy Pigott is the RNC Strategic Communications Director. You can see some of his work on the popular handle at RNC Research. Tommy, it's been quite a wild week in the political landscape here. Joe Biden's out. Looks like Kamala Harris is in. I just want to get your thoughts.
Yeah, well, first of all, Kamala Harris is really just Joe Biden 2.0. I don't think that it changes the race and the fundamentals of the race at all. This is the exact same presidential race as it was before Joe Biden dropped out, in the sense that Kamala Harris owns all of Joe Biden's failures because she was right there actively making them happen. She was the deciding vote on the inflation-fueling spending. She was the border czar. She was there during the Afghanistan surrender and that disastrous withdrawal. She owns his record because it's her record as well. And in fact, she's even farther to the left of Joe Biden, would make a lot of these crises even worse. And on top of all of that, she has to answer serious questions about her central role in this cover-up of Biden's obvious cognitive decline. She covered it up. It's one of the largest scandals, if not the largest scandal in American political history. And I think it shows that she put her own political interest and the interest of her party above national security. And in my mind, that's disqualifying for president of the United States.
So it's safe to say that the RNC is more or less concentrating not on the candidate specifically, but on the policy overall, generally, of the Democratic Party.
Well, I think the one thing I would say there is that it actually is her policy specifically, though. It's a policy that she actually has. So it's a policy that she embraced but also actively supported, being that deciding vote. If it was not for her, if she was not in the vice presidency, we would not have inflation. She actively opened our borders and created this border crisis. And then on top of that, her record shows that she wants to do things like abolish ICE. She wants to do things like decriminalize illegal border crossings. So everything that we've seen under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would only be worse if Kamala Harris were elected. So I think you're right to say that we're focusing on the policies, but there also are specific policies that Harris herself has supported and really wants to enact.
And Tommy, this past week, it's been wild to see the left-leaning faction of the national media just bend over backwards to help Kamala Harris. They were stabbing Joe Biden in the back, but now the same policies, they're lifting Kamala Harris up. They're trying to say she was never the border czar. They're trying to say she never bailed out rioters. My expectations of the national media are pretty low, but damn, this past week, watching these folks just flat out lie to people to their face, that's even lower than I thought.
Yeah, they seem determined on destroying their own credibility. I've never seen anything like it. Like they're determined to make it so no one trusts them. It seems like the exact opposite should be happening. If I were a journalist, I'd want to report the truth, but apparently a lot in the media seem to think that their job is to run cover for Democrats. Of course, we've seen that for years now, but you're exactly right to say this is a whole other level. It's a whole other level if they are literally trying to rewrite history, erase history, change their own reporting, their own websites, go back and change their own articles by the same authors oftentimes to deny that Kamala Harris's borders are, when Joe Biden repeatedly said she was in charge of the border situation, and they did as well. And I think what's ultimately telling about all of this, and what I think the American people are going to take away from this, is Kamala Harris wouldn't be trying to erase her record as borders are if it was successful. If she was successful, she would be trying to own it. And I think this shows just the disaster that she's been.
Now, Tommy, hold on. Joe Biden the other night on his national address, when he had 18 pounds of makeup on, told all of us that the border was more secure now than it was when Donald Trump was the president.
That was crazy.
I mean, absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. I mean, for him to go out there and say that 40 months of the worst border crisis in U.S. history, an unprecedented invasion, and there's really no other word for it, of our borders by people from all over the world. We're seeing de facto control of the border by cartels. We're seeing lethal drugs coming across the border like never before. It's a complete and total disaster, and it's because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I mean, I think one of the things with this media effort to really cover it up, it shows they really didn't learn their lesson from the whole cheap fakes fiasco, where they literally took talking points from the White House and tried to say, oh, here's the facts. And then they all ended up completely embarrassing themselves because it turned out, no surprise, the Biden White House was lying to them. Well, the Kamala Harris campaign is lying to them right now, but I think they're more interested in trying to get in the good graces of Kamala Harris's campaign as opposed to actually holding her accountable.
Tommy Pickett, RNC Strategic Comms Director at RNC Research. Great follow on X. Here is a very simple, basic question that I've been kind of wondering ever since the Oval Office speech with Joe Biden. Why is he exiting the race? He gave no reason whatsoever for stepping out of the race. And I'm thinking it's the leadership abilities are in question, and they're mounting as, again, I just, he says, okay, I'm done. But why didn't he give a reason for leaving the race?
I think that's an excellent point, because he really didn't. He really didn't. He went out there and actually said that he thought his record was deserving of a second term, which is absurd on his face anyway. I mean, that's ridiculous. Completely detached from reality. You didn't say why he was leaving the race. I mean, ultimately, it seems like this comes down to a fundamental truth, which the Democrat Party is the least Democrat party in American history. I mean, they don't believe in democracy. I mean, that's just flat out what it seems to be. They're throwing out the votes of 14 million of their own primary voters. And you can say, hey, this primary was rigged for Joe Biden in the first place, but the DNC set up their own primary. They had their voters vote, and then they decided to throw away their own Democrat primary votes. It is interesting. The only group of people that is not having a say in who their primary candidate is, who their nominee is, are Democrat primary voters. So it shows that, again, the Democrat Party is the party of a few major voices deciding who the rest of them are going to support, and they don't actually answer to the working men and women of this country. And again, what a contrast to the Republican Party answering to the working men and women of this country and really believing in democracy. And that's evident by our two primary systems that happened here.
Tommy, from an RNC perspective, is there any concern that she's the bright, shiny object right now? She's the new toy, the media darling right now, and that's probably going to last for a couple of weeks. She's probably going to pick a vice presidential candidate. That's going to get back in the news cycle, and then there's the convention. So in theory, it's like a month straight, cycle of the Democrats highlighting the news cycle. Is that a concern?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily a concern. I think we are seeing a bit of a sugar high in some of the polling numbers, and because they were so depressed about Joe Biden in the weeks leading up to this, I think there was a bit of a, like I said, sugar high in terms of responding to Kamala Harris being the presumptive nominee. Of course, we'll see even if she remains the presumptive nominee, because it doesn't seem like that really matters much to Democrats anymore. They seem to be throwing out one presumptive nominee and adding the next every few days here. So we'll see if Kamala Harris actually makes it to the convention. I think ultimately when people look at her record, they're going to see that she's a dangerously liberal Democrat. That is just the only way to describe her. So I think in a way, the more that she's actually in the spotlight, the more Americans are going to start saying, hey, wait a minute, we don't want to defund the police like Kamala Harris does. We don't want to abolish ICE like Kamala Harris does. We don't want to raise middle-class taxes like Kamala Harris does. We don't want to give benefits, taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens like Kamala Harris does. There's just so many elements of her record that I think when examined are going to really worry a lot of Americans. So I think in some way, the more that she's in the spotlight, the worse it is for her.
Tommy, I know the RNC is separate from Donald Trump's official campaign staff. I get there's a difference there, but as a member, a spokesman here, a comms director of the RNC, how much of Kamala Harris's record is material for you guys? Because it feels like a lot of people want to get into the personal stuff, right? What did she know about Joe Biden? What did she do to advance her career? The Willie Brown stuff, all of that's fine. But her record is a total zero. Do you guys feel pressure to make sure everybody knows about the lack of accomplishments this woman has done?
Well, at the RNC and Trump campaign, that's where our focus is going to stay on her record, on making sure people know what her policy positions are. I do think questions of her honesty when it comes to what she knew about Joe Biden and when are really important, because that goes to her, whether or not she actually values national security, whether or not she actually can be trusted. So I do think we're going to see a discussion on that, and I think that's warranted. But we're definitely going to stay focused on her record, because ultimately that's what the American people want to see. If you look at President Trump's record, which is a record of delivering for the working men and women of this country, securing our border, peace through strength, Americans want to get back to that. And comparing that record to the record that Harris is responsible for under Joe Biden, as well as her far-left policies, it's quite the contrast, and it's a contrast the American people want to see. So we're going to stay focused on her record. We're going to work hand in glove with the Trump campaign, making sure that we really make sure the American people know this record, because it is a really radical one. So our focus is going to remain there, and we're going to make sure that the American people know that Kamala Harris' agenda is an agenda that will make all of the crises we've seen under Joe Biden even worse.
Tommy, last thing here before we let you go. We got about a minute left. There's been so much stuff in the news cycle, from Donald Trump's assassination attempt, Joe Biden stepping down, Kamala Harris stepping up, Joe Biden's address from the White House. It feels like what's happening at the border on a daily basis kind of gets forgotten. It's still a train wreck down there, right?
It still is. I mean, they're going to try right now to say that it's not, even though all Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done is basically just reclassified people crossing the border, try to act like it's under control, when in reality we're still seeing tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens crossing the border and being released into the United States completely unvetted. And we're seeing the impacts across the country. I think the fake news media, the liberal media, and the Democrats are trying to distract from the realities that we're seeing every single day on the border. But the problem they have is that those realities don't change. And for the American people living through them, they live through them every day. Every single day they see the impacts of this border crisis, whether they see a school being closed to shelter illegal aliens, whether they see Democrats trying to let illegal aliens vote in local elections, whether they see crime happening in their streets. They want this to end. We deserve to have a secure border, and a secure border is what President Trump is going to deliver.
Tommy Pigott, RNC Strategic Communications Director. Check out some of his work at RNC Research. Tommy, fire as always, man. We'll talk next week.
Have a good one. Have a good weekend.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Well, now that Galaxy Concrete Coatings came in and completely changed the look and the feel of my garage, and the new coating they put on my garage floor, I want to have them down in my basement in the furnace room and have them do the same thing. They came into my garage in as little as a day, and it was just so they worked a miracle, basically. They turned it from something old and dirty and cracked and uneven and unmaintained into something new and glossy and gritty and 4 times as strong. My Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world. So, yeah, whether it's your garage, basement, pool deck, any indoor, outdoor area concrete that needs a new coating, call Galaxy Concrete Coatings, 751-9070 or galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
The deals keep coming at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Tony Katz here at Andy Moore Ford. The people, the selection, the service, everything you want. Shop their wide selection of certified pre-owned vehicles, all marked with more savings, so you can be sure you're driving home with the best deal. And their commercial truck center is currently undergoing big changes, which means bigger and better things for you coming soon. Stop by today. Check out every vehicle they have on the lot and all the electric vehicles they've got. The Mustang Mach-E, the E-Transit, and that F-150 Lightning, all in stock with more arriving daily. The all-electric F-150 Lightning has you covered with seating up to 5, intelligent backup power, and onboard power for all your tools and gear. And they've got the incentives, the rebates, the federal, the state incentives that can save you up to $7,500 instantly on site. Talk to Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield about your new car, your new truck, or your new electric vehicle. Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R. AndyMooreFord.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
It's almost here. The best days of summer return this August with your 2024 Indiana State Fair. Join us for endless fun, where there's something for everyone. Take a stroll and enjoy your favorite traditions, or enjoy one of the many new additions. This year, we're celebrating the art and nature of fun, presented by Newfields. Grab discount tickets today at indianastatefair.com. 15 magical days full of fun. Returns August 2nd through 18th. Closed Mondays. Plan your trip today and save big. See you at the fair.
Have you lost Indiana Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's family-owned jewelry store, is dedicated to quality and fine craftsmanship. Let them help you celebrate that special moment in your life. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Little less than 2 hours from right now, we will officially kickstart the weekend with Beer Sample Friday. Celebrity Beer Bong today. The lovely, the talented McKinzie Roth will join us.
Hello.
She is well assembled, as Rob Kendall would say. She will join us a little bit later. But speaking of well assembled, look at that traffic beast back there, Matt Bear.
Hello. Looking to northbound 65 stop-and-go traffic in parts from Edgewood Avenue up to the South Split. Really gets bad around Keystone Avenue. That's 17 minutes to make it up to the split from Edgewood. Inbound 65, stop-and-go 29th to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 stop traffic from Belmont to the South Split. That's 16 minutes. And then eastbound 70 slow from the North Split out to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road at North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We need more people to get on the YouTube chat, right? It's Friday. Come on, let's bring a little energy here. Hit that like button on the WIBC YouTube feed. Let us know that you're there. 83 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and we've got legal stuff.
Legal stuff.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
Legal stuff.
Thanks to Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita for helping us out there for this edition of Legal Stuff. Actually, this one's going to take us to the great state of Ohio. Check out this headline, Hammer. Ohio Supreme Court. Chicken wings advertised as boneless can indeed have bones.
What?
A divided Ohio Supreme Court ruled consumers cannot expect boneless chicken wings to actually be free of bones, rejecting the claims by a restaurant patron who suffered a serious medical complication from getting a bone stuck in his throat.
So wait a minute here. Hold on. A guy ordered boneless wings.
Yes.
They have a bone in it. He almost chokes to death on it. He sues and he loses?
He felt a bite-sized piece of meat go down the wrong way. 3 days later, a fever. He was unable to keep food down, went to the emergency room where a doctor discovered a long, thin bone had torn his esophagus, caused an infection.
Oh, no.
Sued the restaurant, sued the company that provides food to the restaurant, went to the Supreme Court. Hey, look, man, they said this was boneless. I was admitted to the hospital. I had surgery. What say you? And the Ohio Supreme Court said, big middle finger. He can't expect no bones in boneless wings. Come on. What are you thinking?
I'm reading this here. It was a 4-3 ruling, so it was close. But the Ohio Supreme Court said that boneless wings refers to a cooking style, not the actual production of the food.
Really? Is that what it does?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that all of the justices on the Ohio Supreme Court were chefs. They apparently know all the cooking styles, all the terms, all the verbiage. Man, I disagree with this. If you order boneless wings and you eat them like you're supposed to eat boneless wings and you choke on a bone and you get sick and it rips your esophagus and you have to have surgery, I feel like you're entitled to something.
And just a side note, I think this leads us all to the age-old discussion. Are boneless wings actually just chicken tenders?
Chicken nuggets, chicken tenders,
whatever.
Man, I go with boneless wings. It depends on what your definition of wing is. I feel like Bill Clinton right here. It feels like the opening of Is This Anything? What's your definition of wing? Is it the actual wing of the chicken? Or does wing mean something different?
All I know is I got some friendly wings waiting on me at home tonight. Those are wings. All right? That's the very definition of wings. I don't know if I could eat those same types of wings without bones in them. I don't know that I could classify those as wings, if that were an option, which I don't think it is.
Our new partners at Ale Emporium. Oh, man, those
Hermanaki,
wings.
baby.
Those Hermanaki wings, they hit different. They're so good. But listen, if I can just open it up to big picture here, underrated wing, nobody's probably ever going to say that it's their favorite. The Outback wings. Outback Steakhouse's Kookaburra wings, whatever they're called.
I've never had them.
Good.
Okay.
Really freaking good. You can get a big to-go thing. I think we're going to get, some wings and some pizza maybe for, Colts games this fall. So, man, you can't go wrong with that at all. All right, coming up next, debate update. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump. What's going on? Are they going to debate? Who's going to be the moderator? Do we have any sort of resolution? We've got that and a lot more. AI George Stephanopoulos will join us.
Wow.
That's next.
Listen up, Hoosier. This is Gunny speaking, and I'm here to tell you what Senator Todd Young is doing about the mess Biden's creating at the border. The Laken Riley Act ain't no walk in the park, soldier. It's a mission to secure our border. When illegals think they can just waltz in and wreak havoc, they got another thing coming. Senator Young's legislation is going to lock them down tighter than a drum. Young ain't just sitting around saluting. No, sir. He's stopping flow of fentanyl like it's enemy number one, fighting the flow of fentanyl into Indiana from our southern border, and recognizing that it's causing Hoosier families to lose loved ones far too soon. Joe Biden is responsible for this crisis, and Todd is stopping him. It's time to build the wall, enforce tough immigration laws. Todd Young, I'm a Reed, fighting to protect Hoosiers. Hoorah! Paid for by Hoosier Honor Pack. Hoosier Honor Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Learn more at HoosierHonor.com.
Diamonds Direct's summer sale is here. Shop now and get an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's renowned prices. Get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. That's 20% off plus $100 off store-wide. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their newest designs. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, engagement rings, and more. 20% off. Now to July 28th. Ends this Sunday at 5 p.m. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hey, if you love seafood and you have not been to Jay's Lobster and Fish Market in the Garage Food Hall in the Bottle Works District, downtown Indy, what are you waiting for? Of course, Jay specializes in the lobster rolls, but the crab and shrimp rolls are excellent, and I'm addicted to the lobster mac and cheese. We know Jay, and he knows seafood.
Also in the Garage Food Hall, Palavana Cubano. They've got the best Cuban food. And if you haven't had their authentic Cuban coffee, it is the real McCoy. Palavana Cubano. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Life's full of unexpected joys, like problems with water. That's why there's Michaelis, a crew of 24/7 experts who are rescue ready, day or night, one phone call, for a gazillion disasters. Over 3 decades of restoring your home or business to better than new condition. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Mike Braun's plan for your property taxes if he's elected governor this November. State police are looking into a fatal crash on 465 from Thursday afternoon, and why Boar's Head products in your refrigerator might need to be tossed out. That's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
A dire prediction. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. Former President Trump, in a meeting today with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, claims the outcome of the November election will impact the chances for peace in the Middle East.
If we win, it'll be very simple. It's all going to work out and very quickly. If we don't, you're going to end up with major wars in the Middle East and maybe a third world war. You are closer to a third world war right now than at any time since the Second World War.
Vice President Harris said yesterday, following her meeting with the Prime Minister, she would always ensure that Israel is able to defend itself. The Vice President got the phone call this morning she's been waiting for.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Former President Barack Obama, independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. denying rumors that he's considering suspending his presidential campaign. Election officials in Nevada verifying today he has enough petition signatures to make that state's ballot. Charges have been dropped against several of the anti-Israel protesters arrested Wednesday in Washington.
They're charging 8 different protesters out of the 23 who were arrested on Wednesday at the D.C. train station, Union Station. Now, 3 protesters are being charged with carrying a dangerous weapon, 1 person with assaulting a police officer, 3 more people with attempted theft, and 1 other person with making threats. At the same time, we've also learned that 11 protesters have had their D.C. charges dropped.
Fox's Aisha Hasni. The government reported today a modest increase in inflation. On Wall Street at the close, the Dow Jones Industrial Average unofficially up 654 points. NASDAQ gained 176. The S&P 500 up 60. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Talking about your taxes, 82 degrees, mostly sunny on the circle, no rain in sight when you look at the radar. Low temperatures to the 60s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Your property tax bill is the result of a formula that politicians can manipulate, according to Indiana Senator Mike Braun. Donnie Burgess reports.
Property taxes should absolutely be a state issue because local politicians are unfairly adjusting the formula, Braun explains to WIBC's Kendall and Casey. As Governor, Braun says his priority is returning taxes to 2021 levels.
Remember, the assessment, the tax rate gets applied to it to get the tax bill.
Yeah.
So this is going more than just attacking a rate or the assessment, because it's the bill that everyone is interested in.
Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana State Police are looking into an accident from Thursday involving a semi-truck that hit 3 cars on 465. State Police Sergeant John Perrine says it seems the driver of the truck should not have been driving at all.
Last night, it was believed to be some issues with compliance of on-duty hours for the driver, and maybe even some issues with the truck as well. So they're looking into a lot of that.
Several of the people who were injured in the wreck, a 9-year-old boy died. Libertarians can speak about government corruption seriously, according to Andrew Horning, who's a Libertarian candidate himself running to be your next senator. He says his campaign faces several hurdles, including limited ballot access.
So the Democrats and Republicans still get that imprimatur of legitimacy, where every time a Democrat says something, then they ask the Republican what he says about it. And we don't get that.
Horning tells WIBC's Tony Katz that Libertarians are gaining ground thanks to efforts from people like Donald Rainwater. He says Hoosiers want candidates outside the usual Republican or Democrat choices. Maybe think again before grabbing Boar's Head deli products off the shelf at your local grocery store. Products like their liverwursts may have been contaminated with listeria, says the USDA. Affected foods were likely produced between June 11th and July 17th. If you think some of those products are in your fridge, it's probably best to toss them. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
It's hot out there, and if you're tired of paying high utility bills every month because your home AC keeps running, it's because your windows aren't energy efficient. If yours are builder grade and over 8 years old, the seals are likely broken and air is leaking out, and you're paying the price in high utility bills all year long. Window Nation's high-quality windows are built to last a lifetime. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 windows free. There's no limit on how much you could save. Plus, you could save even more with 0 down and no interest or payments for 24 months.
And Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty and can be installed in 1 day or less. They were even recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies in America. Stop paying more than you have to. Schedule a fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, I'm looking at northbound 65 on the south side right now. Pockets of stop-and-go traffic, Southport Road up to Keystone. Then we really jam up into the south split right now. Your travel time from Southport Road to the south split at 28 minutes. Eastbound 70 also bad from Belmont to the south split. That's 22 minutes on your travel time. Northbound 465 northwest side stop-and-go, 86 up to 865. Eastbound 465 slow off Westfield Boulevard over to the White River. Inbound 65 slow roll coming down MLK into the north split and slow out of the split out to Rural Street, Keystone Avenue on the eastbound 70. Traffic sponsored by the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Guys, solve your ED today with an intimacy guarantee only at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. If you don't perform, you don't pay. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
This Friday, we're looking at skies being on the mostly clear side, if not completely clear overnight, with temperatures dropping to about 60 degrees by our Saturday morning, and skies remaining clear throughout most of tomorrow as well. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So
Hammer, I'm all about a Kamala Harris-Donald Trump debate. I think Donald Trump would decimate her. Just look at Kamala's performance in those Democratic primaries a few years ago. Pathetic.
Even her debate against Mike Pence in the vice presidential debate.
The Fly won that debate. Let's be clear.
Right. The fly on Mike Pence's head stole the spotlight. But listen, Mike Pence mopped the floor with her on that debate. But
it's going to be positioned as Kamala, the attorney general, the prosecutor, the district attorney. She's got all this experience in law and order. She's going to be able to take on the convicted felon. No, she's not.
And the way that this debate is being positioned is interesting. Kamala Harris all of a sudden is Miss Billy Badass. I'll debate anybody, anywhere, anytime. Of course you're going to say that because even though you're the new shiny toy, you're still trailing in polls, especially in a lot of the key swing states. So you want as many debates as possible. Donald Trump, on the other hand, he agreed to 2 debates thinking that it was going to be Joe Biden. Now, these were 2 debates with, let's just say, non-Trump friendly outlets. The first one was right in the mouth of the beast, right? CNN headquarters in Atlanta, moderated by CNN.
And he held his own.
He knocked Joe Biden out.
Not only that, but I think the moderators, oh man, I can't believe I'm saying this. Jake Tapper and what's her face?
Dana Bash.
They did a good job of not only keeping control, but they weren't the story in that debate. A lot of these debates previously, the moderators have been the story.
In my tinfoil hat, if I think they chose not to save Joe Biden in that, the reason they had that debate so damn early was that if Joe looked like a dumpster fire and sounded awful, they could bounce him out.
It's not their job to sit there and fact check Donald Trump. It's not the moderator's
But they have
job.
before, though.
They have before, but they didn't this time, and I don't even know if they had the wherewithal to even interject. Joe Biden certainly didn't know. Like, if, what was it, 28 times? Is that the number that they said Donald Trump, quote-unquote, lied or, exaggerated the truth? It's not the moderator's job. It's Joe Biden's job. He had no clue what was going on in that debate.
Do you think, though, that Donald Trump would get the same type of moderation if Kamala Harris were that candidate and not Joe Biden? And they knew Kamala was locked in as being the nominee. No chance of her being replaced. Do you think Jake Tapper and Dana Bash would have moderated that the exact same way? Because I don't. I think they would have tried harder to save Kamala Harris.
But at least when Joe Biden during that debate said stuff about, no troops have died under my watch as president. Donald Trump called him out on that. Called him out on like the Medicare line.
Right.
Joe Biden didn't say anything.
I mean, for what it's worth, I agree with you. I agree 100%. It should be the candidate's job to fact check the other one. But every political debate that I have ever seen featuring a left-leaning person that hates Donald Trump, they've always bent over backwards to make it biased. I think you would get a totally different debate if it were at CNN, Kamala was locked in, and Dana Bash and Jake Tapper were the moderators again.
And it doesn't matter, though. If that's the case, then Donald Trump has shown time and time again he can handle his own, even during those debates. Now, he's faltered. The Chris Wallace debate where Wallace from Fox was the moderator, that was kind of a bad look.
He couldn't shut the hell up.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
He kept interrupting, yeah.
So the next debate is supposed to be on ABC. But Donald Trump's campaign is saying, okay, we've got different rules here now. This is a completely different candidate. I've already done one debate, with a very left-leaning outlet. Maybe we do this second one somewhere else. Maybe the left candidate has to go on Fox News. And Fox has offered up a debate. They've offered up moderators, a place to have it. Kamala Harris not really sold on that idea. But this is the statement that the Trump campaign put out on future debates, okay? Because Trump's not all in on this ABC debate because he doesn't trust George Stephanopoulos to be the moderator. This is the statement put out yesterday by the Trump campaign. Quote, given the continued political chaos surrounding crooked Joe Biden and the Democrat Party, general election debate details cannot be finalized until Democrats formally decide on their nominee.
Yep.
There's a strong sense by many in the Democrat Party, namely Barack Hussein Obama, that Kamala Harris is a Marxist fraud who cannot beat President Trump, and they are still holding out for someone better. Therefore, it would be inappropriate to schedule things with Harris because Democrats could still change their minds.
But that was the Trump campaign that released that.
Yes. Yes.
Even though President Obama formally endorsed Kamala Harris.
Anything can happen, man.
So the big question is, are the Democrats and the big money billion-dollar donors for the Democrats sold on Kamala Harris? That's the question we all have to answer.
It's going to be an interesting 2 weeks to see how polling does. I mean, she raised a lot of money in that first 24 hours, but how is that going to look once the newness wears off?
Trump raised a lot of money after the mugshot.
After the shooting. I mean, he is a fundraising machine right now. And again, most of the swing states still have Donald Trump up. Now, some of these are within the margin of error. We'll see what happens. But if I'm Donald Trump, if I'm advising Donald Trump, I don't want to do this ABC debate.
Yeah.
Not because I'm not scared of Kamala. I don't trust George Butt Sniffer Stephanopoulos to give me a fair shake here. So I tried to get George on the show.
Oh, really?
I emailed, I called.
We have some contacts over there at ABC, right?
He declined.
Oh, well, that's a
But
shame.
I got the next best thing. Here to talk about that ABC debate that Donald Trump does not want to do is AI George Stephanopoulos.
It's disappointing that the former president doesn't want to be part of a debate on ABC News that I would moderate. I'm not going to lie, I also am disappointed. I was very much looking forward to telling Kamala Harris how awesome she is, how smart she is, how creamy and athletic her thighs are. Maybe a little hawk tuah if time allowed. I wanted to tell her that only she can save democracy. I wanted to sniff her hair, rub her shoulders, and lie my ass off about the many, 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 many failures she has been responsible for. Look, I had planned on making love to her on the debate stage while Trump watched. It's disappointing that Trump doesn't want to be part of that. Now, if you will excuse me, a certain vice president promised me the Willie Brown special.
AI George Stephanopoulos there talking about the ABC debate that Donald Trump does not want to do.
What exactly, specifically, in detail, involves the Willie Brown special? Anybody want to?
Matt Bear standing by
that,
in the
Matt Bear.
WIBC Traffic Center. He has a look at the roads.
Looking at northbound 65, stop and go traffic, Southport Road up to the south split, 26 minutes on your travel time. Looking at eastbound 70 jams, Belmont to the south split for 20 minutes, and northbound 37 locked up, Epler to 465 because of construction. Crash west of side, Rockville Road east of Country Club. Traffic sponsored by the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Guys, solve your ED today with an intimacy guarantee only at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. If you don't perform, you don't pay. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We are rolling on a beer sample Friday. Sunshine and 82. Just a gorgeous day here in Indy at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Coming up next, it's America's fastest growing game sensation. Get ready to laugh. Get ready for fun. Is this anything? Next.
To celebrate Team USA going for gold, Xfinity is offering a gold medal deal. Now through August 11th, get our best offer yet with 300 megabit Xfinity internet and one line of unlimited mobile for just $35 a month for a year and a free 5G phone. And the action doesn't stop there. Save on some of the biggest names in streaming by adding the new Xfinity Stream Saver with Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $15 a month. Don't wait. When the Olympic Games end, so does this deal. Go to Xfinity.com/Team USA. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Get the fastest connection to Paris with Xfinity, proud partner of Team USA.
Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Equipment tax and fees extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply to internet and mobile. Stream Saver price subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Free 5G phone requires eligible trade-in. Select models only.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Indiana Foundation Service. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at indianafoundation.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Welcome to Staples, young man.
Tomorrow's my big day.
Big day?
First grade.
Aw. Well, Staples has crayons, markers, glue.
I need a laptop.
Oh, yeah, sure. With Staples Hot Deals, you can save up to $300 on select PCs for school.
Wait. The finances are Mom's department.
Right.
I'm looking for performance, like a Core i7 processor.
Boy, first grade has really changed.
Tell me about it.
Save big on tech for school with super low Staples Hot Deals. Right now, get up to $300 off select PCs at Staples. Ends 8/24.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
This hour on WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, designers of fine custom jewelry.
Hammer and Nigel present.
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Oh, this is my favorite part of the show. Big Nige.
Yeah.
Is this anything? All the beaches in California are technically public property.
Is that right?
So anybody can use them, right? No discrimination. But I guess nobody told this pissed off, angry Karen in Laguna Beach. She screamed at a woman and her two young kids, dropping multiple F-bombs, claiming that the whole beach was hers. Then she brought a spool of rope out and started roping off the area that she thought belonged to her.
It's not harassment on the beach, it's harassment in my home property. Get out of here, now!
Yeah, that's what happens when you're angry for no reason.
This is not an Instagram moment place. You're in my property, get moving now! Now you're in my property line. Move it.
Ma'am, we're walking.
Pretty slow. Don't use the word POV.
Would it be bad if I took that spool of rope and wrapped it around her neck?
Oh, goodness.
Oh, these people, just absolutely insane. And you mentioned something interesting, that all the beaches in California are public property. Anyone can use them, except if it's 2020 and there's an airborne respiratory virus that you can't get while you're outside. And then you'll be arrested for paddleboarding in the middle of the ocean.
That's correct.
In California.
Science!
I always go back to that. I will never forget that footage of police running up and down the shores of, I don't know if it was Laguna Beach, I don't know where it was at in California. One sole paddleboarder going to jail for being outside and not shoved inside where the respiratory virus can spread, and there's no filter. And it's just so ridiculous. And this person, this angry Karen in Laguna Beach, obviously insane. I think you probably, if you're those women taking video, I think you're doing the right thing and just saying, yeah, you're crazy, kind of blowing her off. Because I think I would have had a different reaction, especially with the rope.
I know my wife would have had a different reaction,
I know.
and I'd be paying bail money for the coupon lady because she would have beat the piss out of that woman.
There is I don't want to give too much away about, your finances and where things may or may not be placed in your house, but there is a specific location for bail money in the Hammer area.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not saying where it's at. It could be at another house. It could be at a deposit box somewhere, but there is. You have a specific designation for Hammer bail money.
And the kids know where it's at, too. Because just in case it's a tag team effort of mommy and daddy, the kids know exactly where the bail is. But go back to that paddleboarder that got arrested, which is a true story, by the way, because I remember talking about that.
Yeah.
Imagine if they just would have said, you know what, I'm going to take this brick, throw it through a window, and say it's for George Floyd. That would have been fine.
Oh, you would have been bailed out. Kamala Harris would have set up a fund for you.
Right. Your state senator, Kamala Harris, would have bailed you out for that. Is this anything? 22-year-old in Seattle tried to steal a fire engine and got arrested after he couldn't figure out how to release the parking brake.
Yeah.
Here's some of the 911 call.
We just had someone try to steal our fire engine.
Fire is requesting an expedited response. He did see a fire crew attempting to chase after him.
I've sat in a fire engine before. The only thing that I recognize compared to like a regular car is the steering wheel. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure I recognize the gas pedal. It's something different. So here at the Hammer and Nigel show, we've actually obtained the exclusive audio of the suspect, Hammer.
Oh.
Stealing this fire truck. Here we go.
Who is this? It's Kramer! Kramer? What the hell are you doing back there? The soda's down. The Cosmo's got the caboose. What are you doing, Kramer? You're all over the road. Don't worry, Cap, I can handle it.
That's fantastic.
The Soto's down. Kramer slides down the fireman's pole, knocks that guy out.
Yes.
Takes his place.
So that was the exclusive audio of the fire truck being stolen. Fantastic. Is this anything? Rumors were swirling that Chick-fil-A was thinking about ditching their waffle fries.
Oh, shut up. No way.
They say it's not true, but they
Okay.
are looking for ways to make them more crispy. Here's somebody on TikTok breaking down how the rumor originally got the legs underneath of it.
Chick-fil-A's getting rid of their waffle fries and fans are furious right now. Basically, there's a trend going around where people are like furious because Chick-fil-A is getting rid of their waffle fries apparently, as there's been rumors of Chick-fil-A testing traditional cut french fries. As this whole thing really started when this Chick-fil-A worker, as you guys can see right there, comes out, shows, and says that there's no more waffle fries.
Yeah, no, so that's bogus. That's not really happening. But I will say Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and anybody else that delivers French fries on DoorDash really need to come up with a way to keep those things crispy.
They would counter by saying, get your fat ass there and order it yourself.
No, I mean, they make a lot of money. Good point. But they make a lot of money on DoorDash.
They do.
Find
You're right.
a way to please the customer because we have had Chick-fil-A delivered several times at our house. And by the time chicken fingers, fine. Chicken nuggets, fine. Fries, the waffle fries, little soggy. The condensation inside the foil wrapper. Actually, I don't know if they're foil wrappers or not. Either way, they come a little mushy. They're going to have to figure out a way around that, man. Like McDonald's fries, you got to eat those suckers within about 3 minutes.
Right.
Or they turn into, string cheese, sort of limp potatoes.
Yeah, fries are tough for delivery. It's almost like one of those things that you need to eat either in the car or dine in, like if you're going in there. Because once you make that delivery home, or if it's DoorDash driver, whoever, it's not the same quality, man. It's just not. Now, I've made this perfectly clear. When it comes to fries, I like waffle fries. It's a good change of pace, but I'm a crinkle cut guy. I like crinkle cut fries. That's my number one seed of a March Madness bracket of French fries. What about you? Are you into curly fries, shoestring, potato wedges?
I think the crinkle cut is up there. Yeah, I might be with you. Right behind is a tie between waffle fries and the curly fries from Arby's. Boy, those curly fries from Arby's are good.
They are. They are.
Can't go wrong. And I'm not sure. I don't know of another restaurant. I could be wrong. And correct me if I am, please. But I don't know of another restaurant that has those style of curly fries that Arby's has.
So if we're talking about Chick-fil-A here, let's never forget what it was like during that one summer where we had the chicken sandwich wars. You had Chick-fil-A, you had Popeyes, people were getting into fights over chicken sandwiches, and I stand like this. Popeyes spicy, the best chicken sandwich.
Yeah, with that mayo.
You want a hot take? KFC's chicken sandwich, better than Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwich.
Never had it.
The KFC chicken sandwich, man, it's pretty good. It doesn't get the headlines. It doesn't get the attention. And I'm a loyal Chick-fil-A guy. Best nuggets you can find. Best chicken strips you're going to find. Great service. You get in, you get out. But if you're just going chicken sandwich per chicken sandwich, non-spicy division, KFC's pretty damn good.
I've been Chick-fil-A'd out probably the past couple of months. Haven't had it for a while. That was usually a staple of once a week. My wife and I both work. The kids are waiting for dinner. I haven't had the taste for it.
Sometimes you can get burned out on stuff.
Yeah.
There's a Taco Bell by my house, and sometimes on my free night, I'm like, man, I don't want to blow my free night on something that is there all the time.
I don't know. I showed you what I did yesterday, right? It was national.
Man.
It was National Chili Cheese Dog yesterday. I couldn't find the guy for the chili cheese dog. I couldn't find the stand, so I noticed that little Taco Bell Cantina sign where Rock Bottom used to be on Washington.
Did you get a drink in there?
I did. No,
Did you get a frozen margarita?
I did not get a frozen. It was like in the middle of it. It was like afternoon, but I got.
What does that ever stop you?
I got a chalupa, okay? And it was worth every bit of the $4.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Sinus pressure, congestion, snoring, being unable to sleep, being unable to breathe. Yep. It's another sinus infection. You've Googled, watched videos, tried over-the-counter sprays, medications, and home remedies, but nothing ever works. There must be some kind of treatment that can help, right? Indianapolis Sinus Center understands how draining it can be when you try treatment after treatment without any relief. That's why they've been serving and treating the community for over 50 years. Indianapolis Sinus Center has performed thousands of procedures and helped thousands of patients find lasting relief they didn't know was possible. Patients like you. If you've had enough of sinus pain, pressure, and congestion, schedule a visit with Indianapolis Sinus Center today. Call 317-528-9650 and take the first step toward breathing easy. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650 or visit IndianapolisSinusCenter.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
His property tax plan. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. It's partly cloudy, 82 degrees downtown. We'll go to the radar with the low of 61, by the way. Republican candidate for Governor Mike Braun tells WIBC's Kendall and Casey he has a blueprint to clamp down on rising property taxes in Indiana.
Number one thing here is to take it back to 2021 levels, which no one was thinking that was going to happen.
Senator Braun says his plan would also cap property taxes for senior citizens and low-income Hoosiers. You've heard Senator Mike Braun's plan for your property taxes, but his libertarian opponent says his plan is better. Donnie Burgess reports.
Donald Rainwater says Braun's plan is no good because it doesn't stop annual tax increases. He claims the plan would actually allow annual increases to continue forever. Rainwater also claims Senator Braun's plan has no plan for anyone who could lose their home due to tax sales. Rainwater wants to cap property taxes at 1% of the purchase price of the property for a max of 7 years. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
State police are looking into a fatal crash involving a semi on 465 yesterday afternoon where a 9-year-old boy died.
Well, we want to know what was happening inside his truck moments before impact, and we're hoping to learn that through some different technology and things like that. So, we want to know how fast he was going. We want to know why he didn't hit the brakes.
State Police Sergeant John Perrine says they're not sure if the driver of the truck should have been behind the wheel to begin with, given the amount of hours he'd already been working. President Joe Biden is working on a potential ceasefire deal in Gaza. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
A day after hosting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the Oval Office, President Biden spoke with Jordan's King Abdullah. A White House statement says the president commended Jordan's extraordinary humanitarian response in Gaza and updated the king on negotiations to secure a hostage release and ceasefire deal and prepare for a surge of humanitarian assistance during a pause in fighting. National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby told reporters this week that the two sides are closer than before on a preliminary ceasefire agreement, but gaps remain. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.65 per gallon, according to GasBuddy.com. It's above the national average. It's been that way all the week. National average today, $3.52. Stocks up to close the week. The Dow rose by 654 to finish at 40,589. The Nasdaq up by 176, closing the week at 17,357. And the S&P 500 up by 59 to 5,459. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
Whatever happened to Tony Horton, the guy who created the revolutionary P90X?
2017, I was knocked down. A very rare type of shingles that went straight into my brain. My body was completely wasting away. I started researching everything related to building my muscle back again. That's when I learned about the potential of HMB plus vitamin D3 and what they can do when it comes to helping build new muscle.
So Tony developed high-impact protein by Power Life.
Just add 1 scoop of high-impact protein to a glass of water or your morning smoothie and enjoy the effects of that boss molecule and factory worker combination. Reshaping your body each and every day. More energy, burn more fat, and probably drop a few pounds along the way.
High-impact protein by Power Life is a tasty once-a-day powder that comes in either whey or plant protein. Go to mypowerlife.com and use code TONE to save 30%. Tony even offers a 90-day guarantee. Go to mypowerlife.com or text TONE to 511-511. Text TONE to 511-511 today. All individuals are unique. Your results can and will vary. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Text fee may apply.
The traffic at 4:34. How are the roads, Matt Bear?
Harrison, we just had a crash reported at Fall Creek Parkway at 38th Street. Also looking at a crash. This is Lafayette Road at West 82nd. Right now, eastbound is 70 jammed up Tibbs Avenue to the south split, 19 minutes. Northbound is 65. Stop and go traffic from Southport Road up to the south, split 22-minute travel time. Inbound 65. Slow roll from MLK down to Meridian Penn. Northeast side, eastbound 465. Stop and go traffic from Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. And looking at eastbound 465 south side, just a bit of slow from Man Road over to Harding. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
This Friday, we're looking at skies being on the mostly clear side, if not completely clear overnight, with temperatures dropping to about 60 degrees by our Saturday morning, and skies remaining clear throughout most of tomorrow as well. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer Nigel Show. Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Special in-studio guest Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show. Usually joining us on Thursdays for Off the Rails. You had a very special in-studio guest, the Republican nominee for the governor of Indiana, Mike Braun. You two have butted heads before in person at the GOP convention not too long ago. You've been very critical of Mike Braun as a senator and his record on spending. Take us back to the beginning here. Why did Mike Braun decide to come in and go toe-to-toe with Rob Kendall?
Well, I think his goal today was, and he unveiled his property tax plan, and I think he recognized, and they recognized, no media outlet has been more passionate or has a more engaged audience as it relates to property taxes. And he had some pretty big ideas, and I think he picked the right venue to unveil those ideas to the public.
Was there any bad blood at all? Because you have been just a gnat to him, like in the summertime. Like you have just been bothering the bejesus out of him. Was there any bad blood?
Well, it worked, right? I mean, ultimately, sure. I do what I do, and I'm pretty good at it. And my goal, I know that people, it's shtick, he's a shock jock. No, my goal is better public policy, because right now most of our public policy stinks. And it worked, because Braun and the Republicans as a collective, as he revealed, have gone from 3 years of deflecting on this, going, it's a local issue. It's your school board's problem. We have nothing to do with it, which is complete crap. Braun didn't want to touch it when he first started running for governor. You guys asked him about it a year ago, and you got some bizarro non-answer about it. And now today he admitted, to his credit, it is a state issue. I can fix it or try to fix it as governor, and here's what I'm going to do.
What is he going to do?
It's a super interesting plan. He actually goes further in the initial than I wanted him to go with it, which is he wants to reset the anchor of this plan is he wants to reset the property tax bills back to 2021, which is before all this assessment insanity based on inflation started. And for many people, that thing alone, now there's some other things in here that are very good, but that thing alone would save people hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every single year.
Okay, so he tells you this. Do you think this is something he could make happen? Is there going to be support?
Well, let me get to the second part of the plan that's really interesting, because that's kind of the anchor of it and the glue that holds it all together of being a pretty good plan. The second part of it is he limits the amount your assessment can rise every single year. So both of you guys have kids under the age of 18. If you're a household with a child under the age of 18, your assessment can only rise, the assessment, not the bill, but the assessment can only rise 2% every single year.
Okay, so you won't see this ginormous jump one year from the other.
Same thing if you're a senior citizen, and if you're a super rich out of touch guy like Tony Katz, your assessment can only go up 3% every year. So the worst you can do under Braun's plan, one, you get out of the assessment madness, you go back to your 2021 tax bill, and then you can only go up. Well, Katz has kids under the age of 18, so he's in on it too, 2 or 3%. So he's solving a lot of issues with this plan if indeed he can move it forward and get it passed. Now, that's the big question.
Who is going to push back on this? If indeed he is elected governor of Indiana, who is pushing back on this?
Well, it's going to be primarily local governments. And of course, front and center on that is going to be this teachers union and the angry red-shirted teachers, because money to these people, even though property taxes don't go to pay teachers.
The teachers are going to be the biggest threat to property tax relief?
Yes. Because it's about power, and the property taxes are power. The referendums are about power. How many times have we talked about the ridiculous things schools spend this referendum money on? It is not, there's more than enough money already. And the money in the referendums have always been about asserting power and dominance in these communities. And they are going to, if they already haven't, lose their mind when they find out how much this will help people.
So let's not get too in the weeds here, because I think a lot of people are fascinated with this conversation, but it's hard to keep up on. There's a lot of moving parts here. What do the school referendums and teachers have to do with Mike Braun lowering property tax?
Well, okay, so the two ways schools are primarily funded through two means. One, if you remember when they capped taxes in this state in 2008, they raised the sales tax 2%. State sales tax went from 5 to 7%. That's why the lost money argument is pathetic and laughable, because literally a whole new tax was created. All of that 2% of sales tax goes to pay the teachers. So all of that money goes to pay teachers now. That all comes from the state of Indiana. It's about $20 billion annually. The other part is what we call bright, shiny objects. It's schools, it's buses, it's all this stuff, right? Gymnasiums, football fields. And that is the money that is funded for the most part through property taxes, which annually generates about roughly $9 billion a year coming from property taxes. So when you take the state money and the property tax money, you've got about $29 billion annually going to public education in the state of Indiana.
And so the people that benefits don't want to see some sort of plan like Mike Braun's got enacted, is kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's going to be the pushback?
Absolutely. That's their stuff fund, right? That's the stuff slush fund. When you see so many of these monstrosities and things, that's the laughable thing is so many of these lawmakers. And I hope, and Braun's a bulldog, and he said on our show he's going to make it priority number one. He can't undo it now. He said it on public radio, right? And it's everywhere now. But so many of these Republicans, and this is why I've been so disappointed with the Republicans and treat them the way they do. They have cowered to these angry red-shirted teachers. They know right and wrong. They should know that the state has a role in property tax reform, and yet they have been too afraid because they haven't had no leadership from Holcomb to go out on a limb and say, we will lead since the governor will not. Well, now you have a candidate for governor who's willing to take the slings and arrows and is willing to lead, and they should all line up behind him.
So let's just say in a perfect world, Mike Braun gets into office and immediately fixes property taxes. Could you expect an immediate referendum from your local school district as soon as that happens?
This is the other part that Braun's going to have to address, and I don't think he's come up with an answer for it yet. Doesn't mean it's a bad plan. It means he doesn't have an answer because he wants to make some changes to referendums. But I don't think the changes he wants to make right now are going to be strong enough to prevent this insanity from every community having an instant referendum.
And these school communities, when they have these referendums, about 99% of them pass through.
Unless you got Rob Kendall living in your town, then yeah, they do. But that's the problem, right? These public schools have zero respect. Not all of them, but a whole bunch of them have zero respect for taxpayer money. I mean, the idea of the cap was pretty clear, right? Like the property taxes are capped, and the school said, "There, that's nice." No, they're not. So
we'll have this cute little referendum and still get our money, even though it's capped.
And even if, like, when we've defeated referendums, you got to spend your own time, your own money, your own resources, knocking on doors, putting out yard. That's ridiculous. So Braun, the General Assembly, are going to have to come up with some more ironclad thing to prevent these never-ending referendums, because absolutely, yes, that will be the next result of this, because the schools are not going to respect the will of the voters.
And one more thing here, Rob. You know these politicians better than anybody. You know what they're thinking. You've worked in that State House building before. When they all start saying, well, if we do this tax reform, if we get rid of property taxes, what happens to our state surplus then? What if there's a tornado outbreak or something like this?
Well, so the property taxes will have nothing to do with the state. It'll have nothing to do with the surplus. It's going to force local governments to get their act together. Yeah. And we're not talking about returning to 1980s funding level. Braun's saying we will go back to 2021. Wasn't all that long ago. All the suburban schools seem to be doing fine. You will still get growth. We will limit the growth, which is not unreasonable. It should make it easier to budget. Oh, yeah, it doesn't even touch businesses, which are 3%, which are the majority of the property tax revenue anyway. And this is probably what's most important, is it protects the most vulnerable people. And one more thing before we go. The end game on this should be to get out of property taxes altogether. The government had nothing to do with you buying your home. They should never have a lien on your property. They have no business being in the game of you being able to pay your mortgage. That's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take several years. There are some lawmakers who are working on that plan, and they need some time. This is the bridge plan. I think this is a great start to this. I was actually blown away. If he stays with this plan, that's the key, right? But if he stays with this plan, this was much better than what I thought he was going to come in with today.
Where can we hear that conversation?
WIBC.com, Kendall and Casey Show podcast. You can Google that. You know, they got the Google thing where you just type things in.
I've heard of that.
I think you guys are on there as well.
You kids in your interwebs.
It's a great conversation. I'm not just saying it because we had it. I'm actually proud of Braun. Now, he said some other stuff that was totally squirrely and out there today, but we'll give credit where credit is due on this one. He did well on the property taxes.
The Kendall and Casey Show, 9 to noon, Monday through Friday. That's Rob Kendall. Rob, thank you.
Thank you.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The wife and I have some amazing made-in-the-USA patio furniture on its way to our house. We had a lot to choose from over there at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Spencer and Michelle helped us out. Took measurements, figured out exactly what we needed, what would look best. Love the Made in the USA sale going on right now, whether it's outdoor furniture, mattresses, sofas, sectionals, recliners, and more, exclusively at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Free delivery and setup if you live within 75 miles of their store. So while everybody else is jacking up the prices, Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, free delivery and setup if you live within 75 miles. These guys support what we do here at the Hammer and Nigel Show. So if you need a couch, a mattress, a love seat, check out Thompson Furniture and Mattress. Take care of these guys. ThompsonFurniture.net. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
From marshmallow festivals to fireworks on the shore. No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. during Hubler's Freedom to Drive. Shop any of our 12 locations and choose from Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. Over 2,000 vehicles. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report.
'Cause Hubler's got you covered.
No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles during our Freedom to Drive. Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Buying a diamond has changed. There are mined and lab-grown diamonds. Pierce Jewelers carries both. Pierce can educate you and save your hard-earned money. Shop local. Shop smart. Shop Pierce Jewelers.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Head to the WIBC.com contest page and enter for your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Indiana State Fair, August 2nd through the 18th.
More info online at WIBC.com.
We just had some goodies dropped off in the studio. We will talk about those here in just a moment.
See that? Wow.
Matt Bear, what's going on, man?
Looking at a crash outbound Bifford Boulevard at 72nd Street. This is blocking the right lane, causing traffic almost back to 65th. Also a crash, Fall Creek Parkway at 38th. Northbound 465 stop and go 79th up to 865. Eastbound 70 stop from Tibbs into the South Split for 27-minute delay. Looking to northbound 65, pockets of stop and go traffic. Southport Road up to Keystone, then jam to the South Split. That's a 26-minute travel time. Crash south side. This is Shelby Street at Troy. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland. Online at DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Sunshine, beautiful day, 82 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, Hammer, a week from right now, the Hammer and Nigel Show on the road at the Indiana State Fair, kicking off the Indiana State Fair Friday, August 2nd with Beer Sample Friday. We'll be live at the Tap Room for Beer Sample Friday.
It's where we did the show a year ago.
We did it. Actually, we're going to do it next Friday and the Friday afterwards. And we have got somebody dropped all this stuff off. Who dropped this stuff off for us?
I think it was our friends from the Indiana State Fair. And I've got the Sun King Sunlight Cream Ale, which is so good here. And they brought it cold. Hat tip to the fair for bringing it cold to us, too.
It's Sun King and High and Mighty. Those are the two local favorites that we're going to be enjoying at the Fair Tap Room for the next couple of weeks during the 2024 Indiana State Fair. August 2nd through the 18th. Again, next Friday, you and I'll be live with the gun guy. I know you had previous plans.
Correct.
But the Hammer and Nigel Show will be out on the road at the State Fair. Can I try? What do you have, Allison?
I have High and Mighty's Lemon Shake-Up Bubbly Cocktail.
I want to try that, too.
You were telling me that you wanted to try that a year ago and never got the opportunity to.
Yeah, I meant to try it last year at the fair because I think they had it out there, but I just tried it. It's a perfect pool drink. Like, that's exactly what I want.
Can you walk around the fair with that beverage?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's in a can. It's very, perfect lemon, really refreshing.
Now, I realize we're talking about the State Fair where we're going to be next week and the week after, and we're an hour away from the Celebrity Beer Bong Challenge, by the way. Here
Yes, McKinzie Roth will be here.
So we're a little early doing the beer thing, but I just wanted to mention that the Indiana State Fair $2 Tuesdays are back. Final days to get your pre-sale tickets before August 1st.
Get your tickets now. Go online. You don't want to get to the fair and then have to wait in line for tickets. That stinks. Go online right now, indianastatefair.com. Get your discount tickets, individuals and groups. And, man, it just saves so much time. You'll save some money. And Hammer and Nigel's show, Nigel and Guy, next Friday at the fair. The next Saturday, I'll be there from noon to 2. It's Beatlemania Day.
That's right. You're doing
at the
fair.
whole
thing.
So I'll be there for Beatles Tribute Day from noon to 2, hanging out, having some beers, eating some deep-fried goodness.
I know we're all over the place here, but this Friday, again, a week from Friday, August 2nd, when we'll be taking the show out on the road at the Tap Room at Three Dog Night, performing on the free stage.
Solid, man.
Do you want to do that? Let's taste... I really want to taste a lemon shake-up. But
I already did.
Oh, you did? Okay,
As soon as I handed it to her, it was cracked open.
It's been cracked for a couple minutes.
I was waiting for you to do the honors.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So what did you think, Allison?
Really refreshing. It's very lemony in a good way.
Incredible.
It's not too tart.
And then I think, Hammer, we all know the Sunlight Cream Ale. That's a staple.
Oh, yeah.
It might be the number one seed of Sun King products.
I'd agree.
It's pretty damn good.
Grapefruit Jungle GFJ up there for me. I'm just saying.
Are you a pale ale guy? Because we got the Osiris Pale Ale here as well.
That's a standard as well. I mean, when I say standard, I mean that's a staple, of course.
So, again, you got a couple dates to remember here. Next Friday, August 2nd, Hammer and Nigel live at the fair. The following day, Saturday, August 3rd, I'll be there for a couple of hours, noon to 2. The following Friday, back-to-back, a little Hammer and Nigel show double play, August 9th, Indiana State Fair in the Tap Room, Beer Sample Friday. Boy, we are going to have a good time in August. I cannot wait. Hopefully all of you folks can make it out there. We're going to eat deep-fried candy bars together, deep-fried Oreos together. We're going to see the pig with the big balls. We're going to set up shop in the Tap Room, and we are going to live life, baby. Hoosier style.
And about an hour from now, equally as good a time here on the YouTube channel with a friend of ours.
So McKinzie was the co-host of the first season of All Indiana Bets, the sports betting TV show that I did on Wish TV with Scott Long. She was the moderator, the host. She's also known as the Andy Moore spokeswoman.
She was working in radio in this city for a long time, Radio Now for a while.
Oh, yeah.
For a long time.
Entertainment reporter. Now she's doing some modeling, some influencer stuff.
Oh, I am quite familiar with her, with McKinsey's Instagram account. Yes, that's no joke.
So that will take place right around 5:45. So if you want to see a smoking hot chick suck beer through a tube,
I do.
Get to the YouTube about an hour from right now. Real quick, I'm reading some stories on social media, and I've kind of noticed this myself. I guess it's uncool now for teenagers to have posters in their room of their favorite band or singer or athlete or things like that.
It's dumb.
Right. Like when I was growing up, I had a couple posters in my room. I had the Bo Jackson poster where he had the baseball bat and the shoulder pads on,
I had
some Cubs stuff.
I had the 40-40, McGuire and Canseco.
Yeah.
Bash Brothers.
Yeah. I guess now the poster game is really just quotes. You know, somebody's got a famous quote and they hang that up, right? Even my the one that still lives in my house, I've got a teenager. He's 16. He'll be 17 this December. He's such a minimalist. Doesn't like things on the wall. I have crap all over the place. Like when I was a teenager, when I moved into college, man, I had the Bluto poster from Animal House.
Yeah, college.
You know, this Chicago Cubs montage thing that had Andre Dawson and Mark Grace and Rhino and Sutcliffe and all those guys on it. But I guess posters of your favorite band or whatever, not a thing anymore. Let us know if you see the same thing at Hammer and Nigel.
According to a 2023 Gallup poll, 71% of non-retired adults are worried about retirement saving. At Howard Bailey Financial, we don't believe retiring with confidence should be guesswork. In fact, our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we provide our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you won't outlive. To receive your complimentary toolkit, text CLARITY to 866-482-9559. Take a step toward a more confident retirement with Howard Bailey Financial and text CLARITY to 866-482-9559.
This endorsement was not provided by a client of Howard Bailey. This individual was compensated for this endorsement. For more information, visit howardbailey.com/TS1.
High five! Up top! Heck yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep. Dave's feeling it, but it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Do you need air conditioning service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust, like Family Heating and Air Conditioning? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Hi, it's T. Brian Hayes here from the Retirement Money Matters Show. Many people are considering early retirement or being offered early retirement packages from employers and companies cutting back. However, you cannot make this decision based solely on the amount of money you have accumulated and saved. In fact, you absolutely cannot retire until you consider many often overlooked factors. Find out what these factors are by joining this weekend on the Retirement Money Matters Show, which airs this Saturday morning at 6 right here on WIBC.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Mike Braun's plan for property taxes if he's elected governor, and the Libertarian candidate who doesn't like that plan. It's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Disrespectful of Israel. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. That's how former President Trump today summed up Vice President Harris's remarks following her meeting yesterday with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, after which she said she expressed
my serious concern about the scale of human suffering in Gaza, including the death of far too many innocent civilians.
Meeting with former President Trump in Mar-a-Lago today, Prime Minister Netanyahu said that could impact the ceasefire talks.
I think to the extent that Hamas understands that there's no daylight between Israel and the United States, that expedites the deal. And I would hope that those comments don't change that.
Former President Trump slamming FBI Director Wray on social media for suggesting in congressional testimony Wednesday he may have been wounded by shrapnel rather than a bullet in the assassination try. Former White House physician Dr. Ronnie Jackson examined the wound and tells Fox,
"There's a tract that goes that's hollowed out, a semicircular tract that took off the top part of his ear. That's completely consistent with the track of the bullet."
A former combat medic, Dr. Jackson is now a Texas congressman and says Director Ray's comments were inappropriate and may have been politically motivated. Former President Barack Obama has endorsed Vice President Harris's presidential candidacy, pledging to help her make it to the Oval Office. Former First Lady Michelle Obama adding,
"To my girl Kamala, I am proud of you. This is going to be historic."
A tanker plane that disappeared while fighting a wildfire in Oregon has been found, crashed. Its pilot deceased. Cause of the crash under investigation. Wall Street ending a tough week on a high note. The Dow climbing 654 points. NASDAQ up 176. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He wants to change up your taxes. Mostly sunny, 82 degrees downtown. All good on your radar. Low of 61 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Property taxes are too high, and they're being manipulated by local politicians. That's the claim from Republican candidate for governor, Mike Braun.
Apply a tax rate to an assessed value, and that's where it gets tricky because that gives government the chance to not be responsible.
Senator Braun tells WIBC's Kendall and Casey his tax plan would return property tax bills to 2021 levels. It would also cap property taxes at various levels for homeowners. And that tax plan is no good, says the Libertarian candidate for Indiana governor. Donnie Burgess reports.
Here's the claim from Libertarian Donald Rainwater. Senator Mike Braun's plan does not stop annual property tax increases and does not provide a safety plan for Hoosiers who might lose their home to tax sales. Rainwater says his plan keeps taxes at 1% for 7 years. He has a longer statement planned for Monday. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana State Police are looking into a fatal crash involving a semi-truck on 465 south of downtown Thursday afternoon, where a 9-year-old boy died.
Well, we want to know what was happening inside his truck moments before impact, and we're hoping to learn that through some different technology and things like that. So, we want to know how fast he was going. We want to know why he didn't hit the brakes.
The State Police Sergeant John Perrine, they're curious if the driver of the truck had already been driving too many hours. A Libertarian is making a run at an open Senate seat in Indiana. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Andrew Horning wants to be your next senator as a Libertarian. He tells WIBC's Tony Katz that he's noticed that Democrats are changing the way they talk about war.
They used to be anti-war. They used to be pro-individual rights and all of that. And they've dropped all that. And they've been, just like Republicans, fully into the military-industrial complex and the spy apparatus.
He says moderate Democrats should vote for him this November because he's the only one not backing the military-industrial complex. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
$3.65 is the average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, all according to GasBuddy.com. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
From marshmallow festivals to fireworks on the shore, no matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. During Hubler's Freedom to Drive, shop any of our 12 locations and choose from Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. Over 2,000 vehicles. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report.
'Cause Hubler's got you covered.
No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. During our Freedom to Drive, visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
The traffic in the fives at 5:05. Here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, northbound 65 pockets of stop-and-go traffic from Southport Road up to Keystone Avenue. Then we're slammed into the south. A split right now. Delay is running at 24 minutes. Eastbound 70 has a bad stop to Belmont Avenue into the south. A split that's 31 minutes on the drive time. Inbound 65 stop-and-go MLK to Meridian Penn. Northwest side northbound 465 stop-and-go 79 to 865 and a crash. Outbound to Benford Boulevard, north of 71st, right lane closed. That has us backed up not quite to East 62nd Street. We are approaching that. Looking at eastbound 465 south side, slow from Man Road to the White River, and watch out leaving downtown. Crash on the north end. This is MLK at 11th. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Is your AC struggling to keep up? Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered. Get $74 off any AC repair now. Trust their fast service to keep you comfortable. MrQuickHomeServices.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
This Friday, we're looking at skies being on the mostly clear side, if not completely clear overnight, with temperatures dropping to about 60 degrees by our Saturday morning, and skies remaining clear throughout most of tomorrow as well. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Dear Lord, how the media is trying to cover up for what is presumed the next presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, Kamala Harris. I mean, look, they're in overdrive right now. Operation Kamala Cover-Up, I think is...
That's what I'm seeing on social media. It was trending for a little bit. Hashtag Kamala Cover-Up. And we played you the audio yesterday. We're not going to do it again. But these same media outlets who are trying to tell you Kamala was never named the border czar, saying on air just a couple of years ago, the border czar, Kamala Harris.
That's the most blatant one, I think, is the border czar hoax in terms of, no, she was never the border czar. What are you talking about?
Right.
That's blatant.
The other one is that Kamala Harris never raised money to bail out rioters from 2020. Well, actually, she did. And the screenshots are all over the place. Like, maybe years ago, people would not have had the receipts, as the kids would call them, the digital receipts. But in this day and age of social media, with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and everybody saving things all the time, you can't try to pull the wool over the public's eyes anymore. You can't tell us that Kamala Harris never raised money to bail out rioters, because she totally did. And some of those people got out to commit more violent crime. That happened. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. But you're right, man. The media is in overdrive trying to cover up for her horrendous policies. After the newness wears off, and we keep talking about this, after the shiny new object, new toy effect wears off, what's Kamala going to run on? I'm not Donald Trump? Is that going to work? Is that going to win over the swing states that are feeling the effects of the border or the economy or all of the failures that she and Joe Biden had?
Look, I mean, you have to go back to when she was running the show in California, Hammer. I mean, it's a big problem. She was the Attorney General of California. She had oppressive crime policies. She was throwing pot smokers in jail that weren't distributing. They just got charged with possession. 1,500 of them sat and rotted in jail. Single parents of truant children, threatening them with jail time if their kids didn't go to school. Just a couple of examples of things she's going to need to answer for when these debates come up, or if they come up with Donald Trump.
I wish she was as tough on people smoking weed as you were on people breaking windows and setting fires in 2020. I wish she had that same level of passion. Like, one of the memes that I see on social media a lot right now is that the defund the police people have to deal with the fact that their candidate now, presumed candidate, was the top cop in the state of California.
Yeah.
And what the Blue Lives Matter crowd, the law and order crowd, have to come to grasp with is their candidate is a convicted felon. So, man, trying to explain 2024 politics to somebody that just woke up from a coma might be pretty tough. But MSNBC, they've been in Operation Kamala Cover-Up all week long. They had this panel of, quote, undecided Wisconsin voters. Now, anytime a network does this, I'm very Leary, I don't believe they're all undecided. I think they're pretty much leaning one way or the other. But take it for what it is. MSNBC had a panel of undecided voters in a key swing state of Wisconsin. I don't think they were prepared for what these panelists were going to say about Kamala Harris. Now, I'm going to play you the audio.
Really?
And the reason I say this is toward the end, when one of these panelists is just ripping on Kamala Harris, they start playing the music in the background, which is a universal signal for, oh my God, go to commercial.
I don't get a good feel for her.
I think she's an idiot.
Right. Mary, why do you think that she's not that bright?
Because she hasn't done anything in the time that she's had. We don't know anything about her as far as her 3 years so far in the White House. She's not real smart.
Oh my God! That woman just called her an idiot. Start the music. Let's go to commercial.
Play the music. Go to break.
Yeah,
go to break.
Idiot. She just said idiot. Go to break. She goes, I think she's an idiot.
And those were women, too. That wasn't,
It's not like me and you up there.
Right.
These are constituents. These are voters. These are female possible people that are voting that, are independents that may or may not have vote for her.
Want to hear some rumor, Nige? Want to hear some scuttlebutt? Want to hear some hearsay?
Yeah, sure.
So there's some folks that feel like RFK Jr. is about to bow out of the race and endorse Donald Trump. Now, nothing is finalized. However, sources close to RFK Jr. have reported that he's canceled campaign events and has been openly discussing dropping out of this race to endorse Donald Trump because the Democrat machine has now forced Kamala Harris onto people. RFK Jr., according to sources, says this is not democracy. This is not democratic. It's the Democrat machine, and he's ready to defeat that machine. Now, this is the New York Post, so take that for what you will. But RFK Jr. is polling at about 10% in a lot of places. If just a fraction of that decides to go to Donald Trump, let's say it's about 6 out of that 10%. The other 4% probably don't vote. That could be the difference between winning and losing a swing state. That's a pretty decent amount. This is RFK Jr. the other day talking about Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris is the party of war. She's a war hawk. The Democratic Party was always the peace party. Kamala Harris is a war hawk on Ukraine. She's a war hawk on China. I think that we should be figuring out ways to coexist with the rest of the world as best we can. Of course, we need to protect our national security. I think she's not going to do anything about the national deficit.
And the other thing is, we know RFK wasn't getting any help from the Secret Service. He was getting denied from the Biden administration. Donald Trump not getting as much help from the Secret Service as requested by his campaign. So they have that in common.
Which is bizarre considering what happened to his old man and his uncle. Like if anybody
it's scary.
You would
It's
think
so
could make
weird.
a case for Secret Service protection, it's a Kennedy, right? But because he's kind of the black sheep, Kennedy, nah, screw him. But again, nothing's official yet, but there's chatter. There's scuttlebutt that he's talking about bowing out and throwing his support behind Donald Trump. Not because he loves Trump so much, but he thinks what's happening with this Democratic Party is ridiculous.
Who else is there? Who else is there?
Allison, I need some mood music. Night 1 of the Olympics. Opening ceremonies happening earlier today. You can watch it tape delayed tonight. Handful of events have already gotten underway at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Now, these games are going to take place over the next 16 days. Yet somehow organizers have already run out of food in the Olympic Village. It's day 1, and organizers are panicking about food. According to the Times of London, there's a shortage of the 2 most staple proteins for 99.9% of these athletes. grilled chicken and eggs. There's already a shortage.
That's a staple for sure.
Of grilled chicken and eggs. Now, the reason behind the shortage, they claim, is that the Paris Olympic officials, they've tried to push this plant-based crap on all these athletes because they want to be known as having the greenest games imaginable. And these athletes are like, yeah, no, we're not eating that. You can keep that stuff. Go to bleep. But
you can say hell.
Go to hell. But now these athletes are trying to get grilled chicken and eggs, and they can't find any. So it's panic mode in Paris right now for the Olympics. Nobody wants your green plant-based bull crap. Stop. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Eastbound 70 stop traffic into the south split from Belmont, and right now that's a 23-minute drive time. Northbound 65 pockets of stop-and-go traffic after Southport Road into the south split. Crash outbound Bifford Boulevard at 71st, just north of that, and traffic is backed up almost to East 62nd Street. Northwest side, northbound 465 stop-and-go traffic 79th at 2865. Eastbound 465 slow off Westfield Boulevard to the White River. Crash downtown. This is MLK at 11th. Crash southwest side Kentucky Avenue, south of Man Road, and a crash south side Shelby at Troy. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Is your AC struggling to keep up? Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered. Get $74 off any AC repair now. Trust their fast service to keep you comfortable. MrQuickHomeServices.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
By the way, go back to RFK. Did you see his latest event that he put on? He was hanging out with the Hawk Tuah girl.
Come on, really?
I think that's a symbol of when you know the campaign might be over. That the biggest name that comes to your event is the Hawk Tuah girl. 82 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Caller number 9-239-9393. We've got 2 VIP tickets to go to the Indiana State Fair and watch blues legend Buddy Guy, one of the goats of blues music. 239-9393. Man, that's going to be a great show, and we're going to make sure you've got guaranteed seats. Go to the fair, eat the food, have some drinks, and check out Buddy Guy. 239-9393. Coming up next, a fun round of Are You Okay With This? Come on back.
Sinus pain. You know it all too well. It's constant. It's frustrating. The pressure, the headaches, the snoring, the constant clogged feeling. You're tired of feeling like this, but you've tried nasal sprays, over-the-counter medicines, even home remedies. No matter what you try, nothing gives you lasting sinus relief. You're tired of missing out and feeling miserable. There is something you can do. Something different. Indianapolis Sinus Center. The physicians at Indianapolis Sinus Center have been serving the community with proven treatments for over 50 years. They know what you're going through, and they're standing by ready to offer you the best treatments to provide long-term relief. Breathe better. You don't have to keep suffering from sinus pain. Call Indianapolis Sinus Center today at 317-528-9650 and take the first step toward relief. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650 or go to IndianapolisSinusCenter.com.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg, your premier gun store. Over 1,200 firearms in stock and the largest selection of used firearms in the area. Premier Arms is home of the Buy Room. This exclusive, private, and secure room is where Premier Arms will buy your estate or special collection of firearms and jewelry. Premier Arms and PA Jewelers, their one-of-a-kind jewelry store located in the same building, are the largest buyers of firearms, firearm collections, and estate jewelry in the Midwest. Talk to Premier Arms today. 3754 South Green Street. Online at premierarms.com.
Life's full of unexpected joys, like problems with water. That's why there's Michaelis, a crew of 24/7 experts who are rescue ready, day or night, one phone call, for a gazillion disasters. Over 3 decades of restoring your home or business to better than new condition. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
This hour on WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay. Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show. Oh, yeah!
Hammer, the University of Texas Longhorns recently joined the SEC. And per a new report, spent millions on a kick-ass party for the university joining the SEC. Give us the numbers. Give us the details. Are you okay with all of this?
Oh, I'm okay with this. Texas is going to fit in perfectly in the SEC because their athletic program is a big bleeping deal. So the University of Texas spent $2.3 million on a party in June to celebrate the fact that they're leaving the Big 12 and they're joining the SEC. This is according to information obtained by Sportico. The big party that the Longhorns threw, the Welcome to the SEC party, featured live music from Pitbull, a parade. The big Longhorn mascot was there. People could get autographs with their favorite coaches and players. Yeah, I'm all right with this. Like, I'm an SEC guy. I love the Tennessee Volunteers. But Texas is going to fit right in because this matters to them. Football for the Longhorns matters. It's a big deal. And that's the slogan of the SEC. It just matters more. So a big, massive stadium, a rabid fan base, and tons of money. Competition is going to make the SEC better, right? Texas and Oklahoma are going to make the SEC better. Now, keep this in mind about Texas. When I talk about money, their star quarterback, Quinn Ewers, who's probably the front runner for the Heisman Trophy this year, the guy that's keeping Arch Manning sitting on the bench, he's got an NIL deal for a private jet. So I ask you, could you imagine being a 21-year-old kid with access to a private jet? How much money, how much trouble could you get into with that? So Texas is going to fit right in the SEC, man. Perfect
Hammer,
fit.
how much does that set you apart from your other teammates? Does that alienate you at all from your other teammates that aren't making that kind of money? The coaches, for that matter.
With the star quarterback, I don't think so. Because he's the dude, right? Now, maybe Arch Manning, because Arch is a backup, but because of his last name, I mean, he's really good too, but he just can't get on the field yet. He's getting a ton of endorsements too. So maybe if you're the starting linebacker, starting receiver, maybe you're a little jealous that the backup quarterback gets all of this kind of stuff. But man, the star player is going to get the perks, and he's got a private jet endorsement.
A group of Paris residents are planning a mass protest in Paris to highlight the poor conditions of their water. Of course, Paris is where the Olympics are being held. Protesters plan to conduct a giant simultaneous session of pooping in the river to protest water conditions ahead of the Summer Olympics. Did I read that right? Am I looking at this correctly? There is a coordinated effort to poop in the river to protest the water conditions ahead of the Olympics?
Correct. And yes, I'm okay with this because the Olympic Committee pledged $1.5 billion to help clean up the Main River. I think it's pronounced Seine, the Seine River in Paris. But the locals are saying, yeah, these bureaucrats here, they just kept the money. They didn't do anything. They didn't fix the river. The river's dirty as hell. So there are questions about whether or not it's going to be safe for some of these athletes to compete that do water sports in that river, like the kayaking and all that kind of stuff, biathlon, things where people get into that river. It's gross. It'd be like getting into White River here.
You think?
And $1.5 billion was supposed to go help clean that up, but nothing happened. So now the people of Paris are like, oh, okay, the rest of the world needs to see what you guys think of this river. On a count of three, we're all going to poop in it. 1, 2, 3, and they drop towel and poop in the river.
I'm assuming there's preparation involved in this for the protesters. I'm not reading anything about it, but how do you go about prepping to simultaneously, in a coordinated effort, defecate into the river to protest the conditions?
I would imagine there's some laxatives maybe passed around. I feel like you would have to have like a pregame meal of maybe some
Big Macs,
some greasy Taco Bell, chase it with a warm Budweiser, and then drink some X-Lax afterwards.
Is there a countdown?
3, 2, I can't wait! False start. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, this show, for God's sake. Speaking of poop,
hi-oh!
An apartment complex in Toronto had to ask residents to stop throwing poop at electrical workers while they tried to restore power after a storm. Are you okay with this?
No, I'm not okay with this. What the hell is going on with these electrical workers? This is ridiculous. I mean, it seems like just the other day we were talking about what was happening down in Houston. Houston had that hurricane come through, and a bunch of electrical workers, linesmen from around the country were going down to Houston to help get their power back on, but they were being robbed, they were being shot at, they were being held hostage. Here's a clip of one guy that put a YouTube video out there that went viral.
What the hell are you guys doing right now to the men who came down, who left their families to come help you? Let me give you some examples. I'm going to have to be choicey with the words so TikTok doesn't ban me for it, but let's just start it off. The first thing I want to say is there's 2 linemen in the hospital right now after being given waters by the public that were laced with fentanyl. How sick is that? Second, there's been multiple explosive threats where staging areas and areas where linemen sleep have had to be evacuated. Okay, there's been multiple situations where pews were pulled on linemen. Today, there was 20 linemen held hostage by pews. There's been linemen beaten up. There's been linemen jumped. There's been linemen cussed at, yelled at. Guys, this is sick. You know, the most dangerous part of the job of being a lineman is supposed to be the electricity, the thing you can't see. It's not supposed to be in the public.
He's right. And you got to keep in mind, bad guys like it when there's no light, when there's no power, when your camera systems are not functioning, when your porch light's not on and they can't be seen. Bad guys like it when it's dark. So when there's a major power outage, whether it be from a hurricane or like a storm in Toronto, they're going to do everything in their power to make sure it stays that way. All right. Again, about 15-ish minutes from right now, McKinzie Roth scheduled to join us in studio to kick off the weekend with Beer Sample Friday. But up next, one of our favorites, man, from Breitbart, Bradley J. Bradley J. I love that Southern accent he has, man. When he gets fired up, he starts spitting fire.
Starts talking about Biden.
Joe Biden. He's coming up next right after Harrison Silcox gives us the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
His plan for your property taxes. 82 degrees, partly cloudy over the circle, all clear with your radar. Low of 61 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Republican candidate for governor Mike Braun tells WIBC's Kendall and Casey he has a blueprint to clamp down on rising property taxes in the state.
Number one thing here is to take it back to 2021 levels, which no one was thinking that was going to happen.
Senator Braun says his plan would also cap property taxes for senior citizens and low-income Hoosiers. And that plan is no good, according to Braun's libertarian opponents. He says his plan is better. Donnie Burgess reports.
Donald Rainwater says Braun's plan is no good because it doesn't stop annual tax increases. He claims the plan would actually allow annual increases to continue forever. Rainwater also claims Senator Braun's plan has no plan for anyone who could lose their home due to tax sales. Rainwater wants to cap property taxes at 1% of the purchase price of the property for a max of 7 years. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Former President Donald Trump said Vice President Kamala Harris has a poor record when it comes to handling the tensions in Israel.
I think her remarks were disrespectful. They weren't very nice pertaining to Israel. I actually don't know how a person who's Jewish can vote for her, but that's up to them.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said a ceasefire deal is currently being worked on. He met with Trump today after meeting with Harris and President Biden yesterday. Some anti-Israel protesters in D.C. could be facing federal charges. Fox's Kristen Goodwin reports.
An official with the Washington, D.C. Attorney General's office tells Fox News federal prosecutors are pressing charges against several people associated with this week's protests over Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's visit, saying 3 will be charged with attempt to carry a dangerous weapon, 3 with attempted theft, 1 with threats, and 1 with 2 counts of assault on a police officer. However, officials say several people who were arrested will not face federal charges at this stage, and there are 5 pending citation cases. D.C. Police, Capitol Police, and U.S. Park Police had said Wednesday 23 people had been arrested in connection with the protests. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
And Andrew Horning would like to be your next senator as a libertarian. He tells WIBC's Tony Katz that Democrats have changed over the years.
They used to be anti-war. They used to be pro-individual rights and all of that. And then they've dropped all that. And they've been, just like Republicans, fully into the military-industrial complex and the spy apparatus.
Horning says moderate Democrats should vote for him because he's not one to bring about conflict. With traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Bear.
Northbound 65 stop and go traffic Edgewood Avenue into the south. Is split 25 minutes on your travel time. Eastbound 70 running 22 minutes from the south split back to Belmont. Crash northbound Binford Boulevard after 71st, backing us up almost to 65th. And a crash downtown. This is MLK at 11th. Inbound 65 to downtown stop and go MLK to the north split. Northwest side northbound 465 loaded 86th Street up to 865. And eastbound 465 stop and go Westfield Boulevard to the White River. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
This Friday, we're looking at skies being on the mostly clear side, if not completely clear overnight, with temperatures dropping to about 60 degrees by our Saturday morning, and skies remaining clear throughout most of tomorrow as well. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Go straight to the hotline and bring on Breitbart Capitol Hill correspondent Bradley J. One of the best. Bradley, seems like the Democrats were on the heels there for a while. Walls were closing in on Joe Biden. You had Congress, members of Congress, Democrats calling for Joe Biden to step down. You had George Clooney writing an op-ed piece in the New York Times, and he wouldn't have done that without a permission of Obama. And this was all before the assassination attempt of Donald Trump. Again, Democrats in disarray. Joe Biden decides to make the decision not to run again, and it seems like now it's going to be the vice president, Kamala Harris, and it also seems like the Democrats kind of have their footing now underneath them. What do you see big picture here moving forward?
Wow, you just described about a year's worth of news, but it happened in the span of about 3 weeks.
It sure did.
Look, the Democrats jumped from out the frying pan into the fire. They went from one bad option to another. Kamala Harris? Are you kidding me? Who is this woman's base? I mean, she's more popular in India than Indianapolis. She actually used to claim that she was an Indian American. Seems like over the past few years, she's found another tack. She saying that she now claims to be black, which gets to the core of her problem. This woman, I mean, she doesn't have an authentic bone in her body. There's no authenticity, and that's what voters look for in politicians. I mean, anyone who believes that Kamala Harris is authentic, I mean, that's like one of the guys who gets home from the strip club. Oh, wow, I think this woman really likes me.
Right.
Been there.
It's absurd. I really think that the only reason that they selected Kamala Harris is because that she could have claimed the Biden-Harris campaign accounts. That's it. I don't know that they think that she can win. It's about trying to limit the down ballot damage. They are in serious trouble, and the Democrats who are being serious with themselves realize that.
But I do think Nigel brings up a great point here. The same people that were ready to throw Joe Biden down the stairs now are celebrating Kamala Harris when it's the same damn policies. Hell, if anything, Kamala might be super further to the left and more unlikable than Joe. That's a little wild to me.
Look, I don't know about y'all, but I've been waiting waiting with bated breath to get George Clooney's thoughts on this election. So now that he's made it clear, give me a break. No, it's listen. The Democrats have no path. I mean, Joe Biden had said that it was going to take the Lord Almighty to get him to leave. In the end, it was Nancy Pelosi, which is probably the closest thing to divinity that the Democrats have. They're in trouble. I don't know what the path is. They're faking a lot of enthusiasm right now. The sugar high isn't going to last.
Even with the media's help, Bradley, because we're seeing a pretty strong campaign from the media right now to tell you, oh, she was never the border czar. Oh, she's different than Joe. Like they're scrubbing things from the past so people can't find it.
This is the same media that told us that Joe Biden was fit. He was sharper than ever. He was in his true fighting weight. The same media that after saying that for years and years, after the June 27th debate, started telling you, oh, well, actually, we've been getting reports for months and months that Joe Biden was starting to slip. Well, I mean, talk about a self-own, admitting that they were carrying water for a president. Look, after June 27th, I think that a lot of people woke up to the garbage that's being spewed by the left-wing media. I just don't think that they're going to buy it. And honestly, the media, I think, will get tired of carrying water for Kamala after a while. We will see how long it lasts. We're still a few weeks out from the DNC. I think before then, some of this feigned enthusiasm will start to subside. But y'all are exactly right. What's she going to run on? Was she involved in the Biden administration in moving any of his policy agenda? Sometimes she claims she was. Now she's backing away from it. I mean, I don't know what she's going to hang her hat on if she's running away from the one assignment, her most prominent assignment. I don't. There's only so long that you can cheerlead for this woman when she doesn't have a single accomplishment in her entire career, other than when she was AG, actually locking up a criminal or two, which now she runs away from that. I mean, look, the bottom line. Invest in Orville Redenbacher, because it is going to be fun to watch the Democrats and the media squirm over the next few weeks and the next few months.
Bradley J., Breitbart News Capitol Hill correspondent. And what I meant at the beginning of this conversation is about how the Democrats seem to have found their sea legs, got their legs back under them, is because they all have their talking points. The Obamas have come out now and endorsed Kamala Harris. Nancy Pelosi has endorsed Kamala Harris. And when push comes to shove, I really just don't see a mechanism, a different way that a guy like Gavin Newsom can be installed, or Hillary Clinton for that matter. And I see it is going to be Kamala Harris, hell or high water. Is that the feeling you have, or do you think that the Democrats have something waiting in the wings that could surprise us all?
The last several months, what it's hard to say. It's hard to rule out anything now.
Yeah.
Look, they may have found their sea legs, but I think that what they've actually done is, in finding their sea legs, is walk Kamala off to walk the plank, or I don't know, perhaps even more dangerously, stand on a slightly sloped roof.
Oh, I see what you did there. That's well played.
The mechanism to change out, to select another candidate, I think it has to be Kamala, again, because she has access to those tens of millions of dollars in the Biden-Harris account. Hard to rule out anything. The bottom line, I've asked all kinds of lawmakers their opinions on this, and it seems like it has to be Kamala at this point. But again, what do the Democrats care about? They care about power. They don't care about democracy, despite all the talking points. 14 million Democrat primary voters voted for Joe Biden. Do you know how many delegates Kamala Harris has gotten in her entire career? 0. She dropped out 6 months before Iowa because she was polling behind Andrew Yang. Give me a break. This woman has the likability of the Ebola virus.
Bradley, we got about a minute left here with you. We watched Joe Biden's farewell address. I don't know if that's what it was, but it kind of felt like that the other night, where he had all the makeup on and was doing Joe Biden things. Does he make it to the end? Do you think Joe Biden finishes out his term, or would it be kind of a power move to slide Kamala Harris in there, maybe give her a little bit more leverage as the president heading into the election?
Well, for all that Kamala does to continue to identify as a different race, Joe Biden's the one who actually changes colors every time we see him with, with all the makeup he uses. Look, the bottom line, this is about power to them. They don't care about anything else but maintaining power. If they think that invoking the 25th Amendment will help them in November, mark it down. They will find a way to do it. Honestly, that might be more likely than not at this stage.
Find all his work, Breitbart.com. He is one of our favorite guests over there. Breitbart News, Capitol Hill correspondent, Bradley J. Have a great weekend, Mr. J., and we'll talk to you again very soon, sir.
I can't wait. Have a good weekend. Get ready for what the Democrats might do next, because we just don't know.
It's going to be crazy. Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Okay, special guest waiting in the wings. I've been waiting for this all week, actually.
The lovely and talented McKinzie Roth, longtime indie media personality.
We used to do our Wish TV hits with her daily, on a daily basis. I miss McKinzie.
She was the first co-host of the sports betting TV show.
That's right.
So she is here for Celebrity Beer Bong and Beer Sample Friday. Get to the YouTube stream. You don't want to miss this. That is coming up next.
You are going to want to get in on the action, especially if you're trying to sell your house before the new year, because it's projected that home prices are actually going to decline. So you're going to want to sell your house for maximum value. That's where the expert agent, proven to sell for top dollar, Mark Deedle, comes in. Mitch in Martinsville, his house was getting too big. He was looking to downsize. Heard about Mark Deedle on our show. Mark was able to get multiple offers within 48 hours and closed in 30 days.
And what separates Mark Dietel from the competition is the guarantee. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. That's what makes Mark Dietel the best. Call him today. 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232. Or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
The new Bluebell Cookies and Cream Cheesecake is cheesecake ice cream with chocolate cookie-crusted cheesecake pieces and chocolate cream-filled cookies. Again, cheesecake ice cream with chocolate cookie-crusted cheesecake pieces and chocolate cream-filled cookies. Buy two.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at Safeway Foods and Harvest Supermarkets.
From marshmallow festivals to fireworks on the shore, no matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. During Hubler's Freedom to Drive, shop any of our 12 locations and choose from Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. Over 2,000 vehicles. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Plus, every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 128-point vehicle inspection and a free Carfax history report.
'Cause Hubler's got you covered.
No matter where you're headed this summer, Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles. During our Freedom to Drive, visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Absolute Comfort. Chris Wedekin is the owner, and he says working for a glass house builder has made them experts at heating and cooling.
When the sun comes up on one side and sets on the other, the demand is much larger on one side at one part of the day and much larger on the other side of one part of the day. So with zoning, we can solve your issues.
Make your home absolutely comfortable by going to AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Is your AC struggling to keep up? Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered. Get $74 off any AC repair now. Trust our fast service to keep you comfortable. MrQuickHomeServices.com.
Pierce Jewelers is the best family-owned jewelry store in Carmel. All jewelry and watch repair, appraisals, and custom design are done in-house. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Get to the YouTube feed because McKinzie is here for Celebrity Beer Bong. That is happening right after Matt Baer checks the roads.
Crash west side, 16th Street to Bellevue Place. 3 vehicles involved I would avoid. Also looking at a crash, it's outbound Bimpford after 71st. Northbound 65, pockets of slow from Southport Road up to the South Split. And eastbound 70 still jammed up Belmont to the South Split for 15 minutes. Northbound 37 is stopped from Epler Avenue up to 465 because of construction. Inbound 65 stop and go MLK to the North Split, and delay continuing on to eastbound 70 out to rural. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 in River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
It's 81 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and it's Beer Sample Friday!
Right now,
Hammer and Nigel present
Beer Sample
Fry.
I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
Beer's on sale, people. Come down, get you some.
Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, Hammer, and a special edition of Beer Sample Friday, which we've been doing the past couple of Fridays, right?
Celebrity Beer Bong. So I found this beer bong at a little gas station type place in Florida, and we brought it back. And each week we've had local celebrities come on here and bong beers. And this week, no stranger to the Hammer and Nigel show, even going back to the podcast days, media personality, spokeswoman, model, McKinzie Roth is here.
McKinzie.
Thank you. It's like seeing my brothers. How are you guys? It's great. This is where my radio career began. So
It
that
really
was really
is.
surreal walking up and checking
And
the
it's
studio
not
out.
local. I mean, McKinzie, you follow her on Instagram. It's pretty much all over the place, all over the world, right?
Yeah, I've been traveling a lot lately, but I like to get out and see things. But obviously, Indiana, always my home.
You and I were part of the first season of All Indiana Bets, the sports betting show. And to this day, I still have so many people coming up to me going, you guys got to get that show back on the air.
I mean, do you have a poignant moment from when we were doing that? I learned so much, first of all, from you about sports betting, but that was groundbreaking.
No, you
It
did
was-
not.
Yes, I did.
No, you're just saying that.
I went in there. I didn't even know what a parlay was. Yes, you taught me everything. I mean, I got to throw a pie in your face.
You did.
I mean, we had a great time.
You dressed up as Dolly Parton on that show.
Yeah, you liked that.
How much of your day, how much time do we have, by the way?
We got till 54:30.
Oh, okay. How much time of your day, like you're an influencer, you're a social media person, you're on Instagram. How much of your day is spent keeping in shape and working out and showing people, I don't know, what to do and how they could better themselves?
Well, you're
you know
very
what I mean?
kind. Thank you for that. So I really have taken up an interest in health. I have a 2-year-old,
I've
almost
noticed.
2. Oliver, thank you. Oliver, my little man, will be 2 August 30th. So after him, I just really wanted to snap back quick, and I did it a healthy way. And then a lot of people were saying, hey, Kins, what do you do? By no means am I an expert, but so I do take to social media to just get my workouts in, and I try to live a very healthy lifestyle.
Career-wise, what do you do? Because, like, you're like the Dos Equis girl. You're the most interesting girl in the
She
world.
really is.
I'm everywhere. Well, right now, you know, I've done radio, I've done television. Right now, I'm doing spokesmodel work and commercial work. So I'm the spokeswoman for car dealerships in 3 states, not ours as of now, but Ohio, West Virginia, and Florida.
Cameo, OnlyFans, any of that stuff in there, McKinzie?
What do you guys think about OnlyFans? I'm doing Cameo. I'm not on OnlyFans.
I'm not a judge. I'm not here to judge. Whatever you want.
We were legitimately asking because our credit cards are ready. That's why.
I do get requests. I haven't. It's a slippery slope. Haven't ventured there yet, but I have a great, relationship with people online, so it's fun.
And Instagram, where can people find you at? Because that's where people follow you.
Yes, at McKinzie Roth, and it's McKinzieRoth. I do want to say I have a calendar coming out, though. Really excited about that, and that pops off August 1st. So there'll be a link at my Instagram to check that out.
If anybody's looking for a birthday gift from me, there you go.
I appreciate that.
When was the last time you bonged a beer?
I have a confession. So I'm a proud IU grad. Go Hoosiers. I, though, have not really, I don't think I've ever bonged a beer. Like, this will be monumental in my life.
That's about to change,
I'm
little
scared.
It'll
lady.
be easy.
I'm not a beer girl
All
either.
right,
I'm
let
scared.
me open this Miller Lite right here. We are on YouTube, by the way.
I will say I brought some cupcakes, some like other things, and they're like, no, Kins.
No,
I got
we
you down.
need the IU girl here. We need the Hoosier girl that's out there at the tailgates at the football games that nobody goes into. That's who we need right now.
man.
So,
All right.
Nige, grab the end of the celebrity beer bong.
Okay. Did you guys watch this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Hygiene is a big part of celebrity beer bong.
Hold the hose up to your mouth. Go. You're going to breathe out. You're going to breathe out once I start to pour this in a little bit. Not yet. I'm just pouring it in. Yep. I'm just pouring it in.
That's
I'm
what
just
she
pouring it in.
And we're going to count you down. Okay. And then when we
Okay.
say
Oh my
go,
God.
you go.
Okay.
Okay.
You go.
Okay.
So,
now-
are you ready, Nige?
Yep. I'm ready. Go out.
All right, here we
Breathe
go.
Out. 1.
3,
Then I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to lift it up.
1, go! Get it, McKinzie. Get it, McKinzie. Go, go. Suck on it. Go. Get it. Get it.
Oh my
Let's
gosh,
go.
that's great.
Yeah.
You did great.
Woo!
For somebody that's never did it before, was awesome.
I
Congratulations.
was like, there might be an explosion if I let go of this thing.
No.
Well done. Now you're an official Hoosier, McKinzie.
One more time, Instagram.
At McKinzie Roth.
The weekend is underway.
We
here
love you,
in
McKinzie. We miss
Indianapolis.
you. We miss you.
Me, you guys.
It's Beer Sample Friday.
That was great.
Here on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
High five. Up top. Heck
yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep, Dave's feeling it. But it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings. Powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Are you in need of a new mattress, sofa, sectional, recliner, lift chair, even a big green egg? If so, then you're in luck. Now through Monday, it's our Made in the USA sale. We guarantee you the best price, best service, and free delivery on everything from Smith Brothers, Lazy Boy, Stearns & Foster, Pollywood, and more. Lowest prices of the year now through Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
BoerRemodeling.com. Serving Central Indiana for 23 years. These are your kitchen and bathroom remodeling specialists. When you're ready to make the change, they're ready for you. It's a new year, so it's time to get it done. That kitchen, that heart of the home, the bathroom, a place where you can actually relax and build instant equity in your home. 317-852-5546 or online at Boer, B-O-O-H-E-R, BoerRemodeling.com.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Sarah Simcox. Jake Apollos started his new role as the IMS Museum's first Director of Education last month. He's working on the museum's new STEAM classroom, designing educational programming and providing feedback on new exhibits. He said his background in K-12 education has helped him with the transition.
The fact that I'm able to take what I've learned from that aspect and from what my teachers and my students need and apply it to more of a what can I give to everybody type situation, from little kids all the way up to our elderly visitors, is something I'm really, really excited about. It really does push me a little bit, and that's what I love. I feel like when you start to stagnate, things start to get old and you get a little bit less passionate. So when you have that opportunity to really be pushed outside your comfort zone, I really, really look for those.
The museum is currently undergoing renovations and is expected to reopen next spring. The team behind the Mid-States Corridor project in southern Indiana has received approval from the Indiana Department of Transportation to proceed with its first Tier 2 study. The study will focus on more site-specific impacts of one section of the proposed new highway from I-64 near Huntingburg to State Road 56 at Hayesville in Du Bois County. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
I'm Christopher Day, the CEO of Elevate Ventures. We are the #1 most active venture capital firm in the Great Lakes region and #20 in the U.S. We invest in innovative Indiana companies. Today, Indiana has monikers including Amateur Sports Capital World, Racing Capital World, and Crossroads of America. Now is our opportunity